giving something away, huh?
Council, if we can get your mics on, audience, we will start here at 30. So it looks like we're a minute or two away from that starting line. Thank you. All right, clock has hit 30. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, I have to open up and say it's incredible to see so many members of our community and broadly individuals that are here to share presentations. Thank you all for attending. Thank you all for those that are tuning in online. And with that, I'd love to turn it over to Katie to please call roll.
Schumate.
Here.
Cox.
Here.
Cosmore.
Here.
McNabb.
Here.
Mulnar.
Here.
Valentine.
Here.
Wood. Here.
We got a full house this evening. Chief Kane, from a fire perspective, we've been informed will be about 10 to 15 minutes late, so we will represent him when he arrives. No absent members to excuse. Council, next item on this evening's agenda, and members of public in front of you in the agenda, is the approval of this evening's agenda. We did have two individuals that had shared communications, and council, I would request, I know these were shared via email, I'd request that we modify the agenda to add items B and C to communications. Item A is a letter from Councilmember Cosmore, and item B is a letter from Officer Seifert from our police department. So we're looking for a motion to add those two communications to this evening's agenda.
Can I add something else?
Absolutely,
to
please.
the agenda? Okay, I know that our last meeting, that on July 31st, we were going to talk about the police chief on the August 12th meeting, which is today. So does that have to go under communications, or is that on here, or can we add it, or?
I would say procedurally, attorney, please intervene if you feel otherwise. Since Chief Tangway has a letter that was included in the packet already, and since council has report sections for which each of you have a report, if the city attorney is okay with allowing those to be included there, or the other option would be a motion to add that to the agenda.
A motion to add, I guess it depends what the specific agenda item, a little detail as to what it is, and discussion would be helpful. Can't hear you. Apologies. More specificity as to what the agenda item is. It's not on the agenda, just so there's proper notice of the item.
Oh, okay. Well, we talked at the special meeting on July 31st, and some items were brought up on the police chief, and we said we were going to discuss that August 12th, because that date kept popping up. But I didn't see anything on the agenda, so can we put that on there? Or?
I have under item A in my packet and in front of you in your packet, I have the recommendation given Chief Tangway's letter, which was shared with council, included in the packet, and the recommendation to consider the posting of the city administrator to fill that position. If you have something else you'd like to raise, please speak now, and we can figure out where that would live on the agenda. I'm glad to modify your report if you'd like to represent that item.
Okay, I mean, it's just that we talked about stuff, and I just wanted to make sure that we were clear on the July 31st, because I think it was like a 10 o'clock meeting, and we couldn't sit and talk anymore. But,
Yeah, so in summary, information exists in my report, item
Okay.
A, administrative updates.
Okay.
If you feel that doesn't accurately capture it, we could add another item, but you just have to be more specific per the city attorney's.
okay, so when it gets to that item, we can talk about it? Is that right, your item?
Do you have any issue with that, city attorney?
You could,
I was just
if
trying
there's
to
an
follow
item
up.
that is addressing, I guess, police chief, because that's all I've heard so far, then you can have a discussion at that point.
At that point, when you're talking?
Great, so item A, under my report, we can open that dialogue if you
Okay.
so chose. Great. Going back to the communications, we'd be requesting a motion from council for item B and item C as captured.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Cosmore, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Valentine. Any discussion on those two communications? Katie, please call roll.
Cox.
Yes.
Cosmore.
Yes.
McNabb.
Yes.
Mulnar.
Yes.
Schumate.
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Great, motion carried. So item B and C will be added under communications per that carried motion. All other aspects of the agenda remain the same. Now we would love to turn it over to our public comment. Before we get to the presentation this evening, because we have a presentation from our Riverview Land Preserve partners, I'd love to open up the floor to our public for any public comment. If you choose to make a comment to council, please make sure that light is green and that you state your name and address. Please.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Scott Dennison, 29995 Adams Drive here in Gibraltar. At the last regularly scheduled council meeting, Treasurer Fonte read a letter from Platt Moran, our city auditors. The tone seemed to suggest a crime, perhaps fraud, and time card payroll theft occurred. I know this last election, most of you ran on transparency and full disclosure to our residents. Now we find ourselves at the cusp of removing a police chief, the same police chief who uncovered and investigated the alleged fraud and time card theft. Following the investigation, a department payroll dropped by thousands of dollars. Should our city council fire a whistleblower? That would be very costly to the city. We have a 7-year council person in attendance whose household may have benefited directly if a fraud and time card theft occurred. That same council person should have known that no payroll changes were approved by city council. Yet we have a member of that department stating, "I am getting the getting while the getting's good." If this household is under investigation for fraud and time card theft, then our city attorney would be the best to advise if a clear and present conflict of interest exists. If one does exist, and in full transparency, this council person should abstain from voting. Plus, in the best interest of the city, that council person should immediately resign for violating the public trust. I want to thank Treasurer Fonte, keeper of the funds, for bringing this matter to the public's attention. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, former Mayor Dennison. Any other public comments for this evening? Great. That will close our public comment section. Oh, please.
Sorry, I'm kind of new to this, so I don't know if I wanted to say some words for Chief Tangway as well.
That would be welcome at the podium if you so chose.
Okay, excellent.
Just state your name and address for me and make sure that light is still green.
Okay, it is. I'm Leanne Flynn, 30665 Young Drive. And actually, my husband Mike and I are here to speak for Chief Tangway. And so I wanted to share a time when Chief Tangway helped my husband and I out. And this was over the course of several months, actually, many months. We had a criminal activity against us. We had a theft of a large sum of money. In fact, there were 9 people in total that were victimized and had money stolen into the 6 figures, is my understanding. So Chief Tangway helped us out through this. It took him considerable time over many months and effort on his part, speaking with the right people in the criminal justice system to ultimately prosecute this person who made the crime. Chief was instrumental in pushing this along. Our money was eventually returned, and we're extremely grateful for that by the grace of God, but also Chief's good heart and hard and smart work. I don't know what's really going on here with whatever's happening, but we're forever grateful for what he did, and we really feel that he should stay in place. And that's what we have to say.
I echo every word you said. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Tangway. Any other comments this evening? Name and address, and make sure that light is green for me.
Tina Kuzma, 30495 Bayview. So obviously, this was something new brought to our attention today. I haven't been to many, but maybe it's been brought up and I'm not aware. I do watch them. This is kind of an odd thing, I would think. Is there something that I believe as a community, we would have the right to ask what precipitated this, where we're coming from with this?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be covered in detail throughout the agenda this evening. So I'd love to have that detailed discussion when we get to those
Okay.
sets of information, if that's
So we're going
appropriate.
there.
But that's up to council, because they have made a decision that seems they would like to raise that this evening, so.
And is this new? This just came about?
It's a longstanding discussion, simply put. Chief Tangway has obviously been an incredible champion for the city and the department, number one. As you know, February 2nd, Michael Landis
Right.
departed his position as city administrator. We embarked on a several months long extensive interview and application and search process. We did successfully identify candidates that we reviewed publicly.
Right.
We interviewed several of them. Bottom line, after not finding an ideal candidate for the city of Gibraltar, Chief Tangway selflessly, as he does in many areas, stood up and said, I would be willing to do this. And so council adopted a resolution that included a transition plan for which Chief Tangway would carry both the DPS title he currently has and do double duty in covering city administrator capacities for a time-bound window through October 31st of this calendar year. Vince has obviously been a tremendous
Right.
asset and partner as a consultant for us in supporting Chief. A part of that transition plan that was discussed in detailed fashion was to make sure we had the pieces in place to enable an effective transition. Chief unfortunately had a unexpected health event transpire. I'm not here to put words behind that he doesn't want to be
Right.
put behind it. But at the end of the day, his wife, his daughters, his son, himself, took the right decision to get in the hospital immediately, and he's okay and sitting in front of us right now. Following that health event, we had asked him to do what he should do, which is focus on his health and his well-being and his family and his recovery. The doctor's note allowed him to return back to work August 6th. He took sick time and used his vacation time to be home with his family recovering. As I would expect him to do, he did the right thing, and after evaluating what would be the health and well-being focus decision, made the decision that he no longer feels it would be appropriate to pursue the city administrator role, and that he would like to continue to remain in his active DPS capacity. I am a huge champion and advocate for that for many reasons that I will discuss. I'm aware that some council members plan to bring potentially a different path forward today. I'm in no way supportive of that, but that's a discussion we will have with 7 voting members up here in front of you. So that's where we're at. That's what's being alluded to. I'll respect whatever council member wants to raise any topic. I could not be any more of a fan of that man.
Okay, so, and with that said, right, so in all fairness, we want somebody to be in the position that he wants to be in rather than what we want him to be in. And that's a judgment call he makes. And so in retrospect too, if we're gonna say, well, since you're not taking this position, we're gonna let you go, would that not be then opening the city of Gibraltar to an employment lawsuit?
I think there's a lot of variables that we will discuss in detail
Yeah,
this
I
evening. We
think this is a
lean on our
really-
city attorney for any city attorney advice, which will be discussed if council so chooses tonight. Again,
And then would we have any say as public?
obviously, public comment is a forum to do that, but at the end of the day, it's 7 voting members sitting in front of you. They're tasked with the decision, and I think I've made my headspace very clear on this matter.
Okay. That's really disappointing to hear.
Yeah, incredibly. Any other public comment?
Chelsea Brad, 30680 Young. I'm just here in support of Chief Tangway as well as a resident, not just an employee. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Chelsea. Any other public comment this evening? Thanks for speaking up, community. With that being said, we would love to turn over the floor to you for your presentation. Just for a little bit of backdrop, council, I know we've shared this communication with you, and ultimately Kevin and Jeff from the Riverview Land Preserve are here to share an update of some information around the land preserve and future considerations and what that could mean for Gibraltar. I just want to thank you, not only for requesting the meeting up front, but for coming here today to share. Residents just encourage you to listen, council encourage you to listen so that we can understand the horizon in front of us and what considerations are present with Riverview Land Preserve. The floor is yours.
Great. Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, council. My name is Jeff Kugelman. I represent the Riverview Land Preserve. In a sales capacity, I deal with the entire waste community. Our director, Kevin Sisk, may be a little bit late tonight. He's got his own meeting that he's actually presenting some information to, so we apologize for him not being here. I'm only going to take a couple minutes of your time, but there's within the waste industry right now, there are some elements and some major changes that are taking place. Not only the Riverview Land Preserve, from a landfill perspective, but also the waste collection companies. And I can tell you, being at the Hill, and some of us have a history with the Riverview Land Preserve, as Mount Trashmore. For years ago, the old ski resort, we all remember that, right?
Many times.
Absolutely. And so the Riverview Land Preserve has been around since 1968. That's when it first started accepting waste material. And so we've been in business for 56 years. The Riverview Land Preserve is owned by the city of Riverview and operated by the city of Riverview. And there are some elements, or some changes that have recently took place, but also some information and some things that are going to be happening in the future. And I'm not talking next year, the year after, or 5 years from now. I'm talking more like 7 to 8 years, but it's going to have an impact here shortly. And it'll start to begin. I have a packet of information that I'd like to present to the council members. And this is information that you can review at your own leisure, but I'm going to top line a couple of these things.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So when you look at the downriver region, all 16 downriver municipalities, including Gibraltar, from Allen Park to Gibraltar to Rockwood to Flat Rock to Grosse Ile, and all the cities in between. There are over 300,000 residents that live within the 16 downriver communities. That comes from the 2020 census report, okay? If you think about that population And the senior population, 16% of the 300,000 residents are over the age of 65. And I'll get to that point in just a minute. But we've been a regional resource since 1968 for all the cities down here. When you look at the 300,000 residents, that's really 20% of Wayne County's population, which is a big impact for Wayne County. In your packet, you'll see some information regarding population size, median age, total population of each city broken down. There's a couple things I want to key in on. Is we have the landfill in Riverview, but when you think about all the collection companies and the local contributions that those drivers have, our customers at the landfill, they drive in and out of the downriver cities and streets, and they stop at the local gas station, they stop at the local fast food or restaurant. They actually contribute to local economies. That's one of the contributions that having a landfill there is they might go shopping. These trucks might have one or two drivers in a truck. There's a breakdown here of gas and food, the contributions made over the course of a year. It's a pretty impactful contribution that they do make. That's kind of number one. What are the benefits of having the Riverview Land Preserve where it's at now and what we've done in the past? When you think about the COVID-19, we were deemed an essential service. For one minute, if you think about the amount of waste that we all generate as consumers, can you imagine if landfills or waste collection companies didn't even pick up the trash during COVID? It would be stored in garages. It would be stored and maybe thrown out into the river. It might be thrown out on the streets. But we were deemed an essential service, and we continue to be an essential service. In times of crisis, do you remember all the floods downriver that have happened the last 10 to 15 years? All the way out even into Dearborn. We actually opened up and extended our hours of operation to handle the influx of trash that came in. So during times of crisis or severe weather, last year we had a tornado come through. And if you remember, it started out in, was it Novi, New Hudson, and came directly towards us. Well, our Mayor Swift of Riverview, actually offered 2 weeks free of tree limbs, logs, and brush to be coming into the Riverview Land Preserve because of all the material that was spread across the streets and the houses and the damage to houses. When you look at the location of our land preserve, it's right off 75. It's centrally located within the downriver area, the downriver cities. Whether you're north, east, west, or south of us, it's centrally located there. When you look at the second thing I really wanted to point out too is the infrastructure of all the developments, whether it's housing, whether it's new business, and I'll give you some real quick examples. The Little Daddy's restaurant in Eureka and Taylor, that's now going to be a Chick-fil-A. And Riverside Hospital in Trenton has just been demolished. We play parts in that process. Cities gain tax revenue with new development that's coming in. But the bottom line is, I can give you thousands of examples. The Gibraltar Trade Center, now it's Menards and BJ's Wholesale Club. That's all new development. We've been a part in some way, shape, or form in these developments over the years, 56 years worth. It's been a long time. So when you look at, from an employee's perspective, we have 25 employees, including myself, up at the landfill or land preserve. The biggest important thing that I really want, number 3, and I appreciate your time, is we went for an expansion in 2022. That was denied by the Wayne County Inclusion Facility, or Facilities Inclusion Committee, FIC, of Wayne County, which is Executive Warren Evans. That's his office. So we were denied a expansion at that time. Well, with that being said, we are closing. As of right now, we are closing, could be 6, 7, 8 years down the road. We have capacity still, but we're coming to a crisis potential. And here's what that crisis is. When you look at all the companies, the businesses, the residents in these downriver cities, thousands, everybody's going to will have to pay more for their hauling costs to another landfill that's further away. I can tell you that Carlton Farms landfill is located in Carlton, Michigan, right off Will Carlton Road. That's 12 miles one way from our landfill. Round trip, it's 24 miles. The other closest landfill is Woodland Meadows, which is in Belleville/Canton, right there on Michigan Avenue off 275. That's about 35 miles away, one way. If you simply do the math of all this trash being hauled out to a further landfill, it gets really expensive. That's the first part of this crisis, and soon to be in the next several years. So we have seen $1.75 to $3.75 per mile is what it will cost to haul trash to another landfill once the Riverview Land Preserve closes. If you just do that simple math, I can tell you collectively through 16 downriver cities, that's about a $15 to $20 million per year additional cost just to haul trash to another landfill. In addition to churches, banks, restaurants, everywhere we go, there's trash pickup. If we shop in a mall, if we shop anywhere, there's usually a 10-yard dumpster in the back of that facility. Oil changes, gas stations. We're all going to feel the effect, not just as residents, in our taxes, potentially. So what's a city to do? Well, the simple solution is to, if the city of Riverview decides to go for another expansion, is to support that expansion. The other thing I want to bring in to your attention here also, and I appreciate everybody's time, is when you look at what just recently happened July 1st with Priority Waste, and I want you to really think about this real quick. Priority Waste bought or purchased 73 municipal contracts. And I'm sure we've all seen it in the news. I know I have almost on a daily basis. But to take on 73 cities from GFL, that's a huge, that's a monumental task. Okay, there's going to be growing pains. But 10 years ago, we used to have 6 trash companies that would go for a bid. For example, let's just hypothetically say City of Gibraltar wants to go for an RFP. There would be 6 companies that typically would bid on that contract. Advanced Disposal, Waste Management, Republic, BFI, Rizzo, Stevens Disposal. This year, right now, we only have 3. So when you look at the current status, Waste Management has one city down here, that's Brownstown. It's a matter of time before they may say, we're not going to do Brownstown anymore. Well, that would leave us with 2, which is Stevens Disposal and Priority Waste. So all of a sudden, as we move forward, year after year after year, as these contracts come up, they can't service that right now. There's going to be some hiccups. Priority cannot service these contracts. So what does that mean to us, Jeff? Well, I can tell you that I work with all these haulers. I've been working with them for 5 years. And it's coming down to basically, short of saying it's a monopoly, or soon will be, that's kind of where we're going. So not only are landfills closing, there's another landfill in Belleville, which is Sauk Trail, which is the smaller hill on 275, if you will. That one will be closing in 2 to 3 years because they don't have any room to expand. They're just going to close down. And their numbers are showing that. Then if you shut down Riverview Land Preserve, there's 2 of 4 that are in the county. Those 2 that will remain are privately owned landfills. Waste Management owns the big one off of 275. Carlton is owned by Republic Services. So waste collection companies are condensing. Landfills potentially are being diminished. Landfills are very useful and they're very beneficial. These are the challenges that we all face downriver, not only from a financial standpoint, but from a service standpoint as well. That if the Riverview Land Preserve does close and the city of Riverview does not go for another expansion application, what'll end up happening is what I just mentioned right before you. It's that serious of a topic, and it's that serious of a consideration. Ultimately, it is going to be Wayne County's decision. But we have visited, well, there's 16 cities down here, so we have visited 12 of the 16. We have received letters of support. We have received resolutions to support the land preserve expansion in the event that we do go for it. So I appreciate your time. Thank you for listening. It's that important of a topic that will eventually affect us all. But there is one way to avoid this whole conversation and costs, is going to be the fact that if Riverview does go for an expansion, we need the cities to support that expansion, because it is really that serious. This is not make-believe, this is kind of realistic, based in reality. Are the numbers exactly 100%? No. But we're creating the awareness now, because we only have so many years of life left. So, is there any questions that I can answer? Yes, sir.
Why did Wayne County turn you down? Was there something more advantageous to them?
So, when you look at that, it was during the application process. One of the things that Wayne County wanted us to do was to move our front entrance off of King Road, those that are familiar with where we're at, which is a 2-lane road, to move that front entrance from King Road to Allen Road, which is a 4-lane. Well, the city of Trenton is across the street from our front entrance. Moving it to Allen Road, now you're involving Brownstown. Okay, that was one of the requirements that they had in the old application. This new application does not include that if we go for it. This new application would include just having the expansion into the Riverview Highlands Golf Course. Those are that are familiar with it. It's a 45-acre expansion into the golf course, which would give the city and the downriver area 15 to 18 years of life of waste capacity. So that was really the biggest thing. And the biggest complaint that we got a lot from Trenton residents was the truck traffic. So that was one of the things that was turned down, or one of the reasons why. There's multiple other reasons, which I'm not privy to. But we are now taking it to each city and really just providing the education and the awareness of it, of how serious this will be. And you'll see in the numbers, some cities are going to be affected more than others.
Does Riverview own the golf course?
Riverview does own the golf course, yep. They also own a cell tower that's in between the landfill and the golf course. So, is there any other questions?
Just want to thank you so much for coming. Any other questions from council?
I have one. Why did the city yourself turn the landfill down? They voted against it.
In terms of who?
Riverview?
We had a third party conduct a survey with our own residents, and that survey was more than a 3-to-1 in favor of the expansion of the landfill.
Did they, maybe I'm crossed up, but did they, at the voters at any time reject the landfill? The recent couple-year elections?
No. So back in 2021,
Yeah.
there was a company that we hired, a third party. They did the survey, and there was like 1,700 respondents, residents of Riverview.
I think that's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
so that was a 3-to-1 in favor of the expansion of Riverview.
So your residents are behind it?
They are. Yep.
I just want to really,
Canadian garbage you bring in there.
So that's a question I'm not afraid to ask or to answer. So Canadian trash, one thing about trash is it's a commodity. It can be bought and sold, which is part of the U.S. Commerce Clause. And with that being said, we don't take a lot of Canadian trash. We do take Canadian trash. It's very minimal, but a lot of it's used for road building, brick and block, that type of material. But I can tell you that there is one landfill, Carlton Farms off of Will Carlton Road, that 70% of their trash comes from Canada.
yeah.
70%, and I have numbers that I can show you to prove that. And it's actually on the Michigan.gov website. We all have to report as landfills, we have to report to the county and to the state what our intake and volumes are. And we also have to provide the origin of waste. And that's where you get the numbers. The other largest Canadian trash intake landfill is Pine Tree Acres up in Port Huron, which is right across, ironically, from the Blue Water Bridge, and we have the Ambassador Bridge, and now we're gonna have the Gordie Howe Bridge.
Yep.
So,
Jeff, thank you. Jeff, thank you so much. Hey,
Hey, John.
Mr. Wood, if you have a comment, we welcome you at the podium.
so thank you very much for your time and your consideration, and if you have any questions after, I'll be here for the duration.
Thank you so much. Just a couple of thoughts for the residents, just broadly, and I know we discussed this with you when we met before this presentation. One is, members of public, while we have existing waste management services with priority, council made the decision to go in a different direction. And so we will be working with Stevens moving forward, as highlighted in the presentation today. I know Chelsea and many others have worked on some communication for you. We talked about this at previous meetings. You all will be receiving new cans, as well as a QR code and other means of educating you on what this process and transition will look like. We're obviously excited about the transition for many reasons. Number two, I think you're spot on in just educating us. While the cliff might be 8 years away, right, the planning must start now. And residents, you just heard that while this is in a neighboring city from a landfill location, that's where we take our waste, and we have a current agreement with them to take our waste there. I like your context around the 16 communities and 300,000 people that this land preserve, supports in their waste management. So thank you. And it's broad context for what is an expansion effort. I would say council, I know we're just digesting this for the first time today, but perhaps council considers some level of resolution or letter of support, if they so choose, around the expansion efforts. Just thank you for your transparency and showing up today. Residents, just now you know, while we have agreements in place now that protect us, there's a financial risk in the future if this expansion is not successful, and that looks like about 8 years out. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Council, I'd now like to turn your attention to the consent agenda this evening. In your packet, you will see the consent agenda items. A, bills reference number 3A and 3B. B, payroll number 900, 901, and 902. C, city council minutes of 7/22/2024. D, special city council minutes of 7/31/2024. E, planning commission minutes of 5/21/2024. F, DDA minutes of 5/21/2024. And finally, G, beautification commission minutes 8/5/2024. Council, will be looking for a motion to approve this evening's consent agenda items A through G.
Motion to approve the consent agenda, items A through G.
Motion by Wood, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Cosmore. Any discussion on consent agenda? Great. Katie, can you please call roll?
Cosmore?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Motion carried. Next, council and members of the public, I'd like to turn your attention to communications. The two additional items B and C from the previous motion, are sitting in front of council as we speak, so I will be going to each one individually. Item A, dispatch interlocal agreement with the city of Rockwood. I just want to say a couple things here. Council, in your packet, you'll see the executed agreement with the city of Rockwood. Members of public, this is, we were able to absorb the city of Rockwood dispatch services. I want to give a very special shout out to Chief Tangway for being a spearhead of that effort. I want to thank our dispatchers and our officers. I want to thank City of Rockwood and all the administration and their officers. We also offered, obviously, to hire their dispatchers in that process. I'm really excited about the opportunity. It leverages existing collaboration with the two communities. That's already happening. It allows both communities to benefit financially, and operationally creates a lot of synergy for how we move forward. So congratulations, thank you. I know I've heard it's gone well off the week 1 plus starting line, and that's the agreement. So we'll need a motion to receive and file the dispatch interlocal agreement with City of Rockwood from council.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Cosmore, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Wood. Any discussion? Katie, please call roll.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Cosmore?
Yes.
Motion carried. Next item on communications will be the letter from Officer Seifert from our police department. Council, you have this letter in front of you. In summary, it supports or expresses support for Chief Tangway's continued service as our lead of DPS and police chief.
Motion to receive and file Officer Seifert's letter.
Thank you. Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Cosmore. Any discussion? Katie, please call roll.
Mulner?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Cosmore?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cosmore, do you want to speak to your item? Item C, it's a letter from you. If not, we can just acknowledge the receipt of it.
Because we're going to be bringing it up later, so I think it's probably better
Perfect.
to discuss it then.
Council, you have the letter from Councilwoman Cosmore in front of you, for which may be discussed further later. We'll be looking for a motion to receive and file.
Motion to receive and file Councilperson Cosmore's letter.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Katie, please call roll.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Cosmore?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulner?
Yes.
Motion carried. Great. That closes out our communication section, and we'll turn to my report this evening. Council and members of public, I have 3 items for you this evening. Council, you'll find all supporting information in your packet. Item A is going to be our administrative updates. I'm really excited because the resident survey was deployed. I want to thank all of those that have helped showcase and amplify that deployment. Last I checked, it was 299 responses. So we seem to get little upticks when there's a push, whether it's an event or some sort of broader resident engagement. Next steps will be, as we had planned, additional social and digital reminders. It also lives in constant state at our city hall. And we have some volunteers that have kindly offered to go door to door. And we're going to target that door to door on known addresses that, for example, didn't receive a tax bill, therefore it wouldn't have been their tax bill distribution. Our goal is to get as many responses as possible. So to the community that has not filled, including any of you in this room, while it is anonymous, we would highly appreciate your participation in that survey. Really excited about the response rate. We already surpassed the response of the last survey, so congratulations, but let's not stop there. We have almost 5,000 residents here. 300 needs to be way higher.
We passed out a lot at voting,
Thank you.
so hopefully, all those people we gave them to a voting,
Thank you so much.
use them.
Yes, so members of public, voice through the survey. We've designed it to be short and sweet. It will not take more than 5 minutes of your time. It's available electronic via QR codes online, in City Hall, and we'll have the door-to-door, which will support some print-based methods as well.
And can I mention something too?
Please.
Because I did have quite a few residents that said to me they really would like to have a paper copy, especially our seniors. And they would love to fill it out, but they did not, they didn't know how to go to the link, or they didn't know how to use a QR code. So if that may be something we maybe need to put out, paper copies from the front and let them fill it out, or we really need to think about that, because, I had at least 10 or 12 of our seniors that came that day that was, expressed that to me.
It's a great action, and I will help support that with the individuals in City Hall to make sure we get print copies. We'll lean on you in the audience to just raise your hand for that audience and demographic. Councilwoman Cosmore will lean on you, and then we'll incorporate that in the door-to-door, so that for anybody that doesn't want to take the electronic survey, they might have an option to get a print copy. I like our trajectory, but we got to get those numbers higher. Any questions, comments on resident survey? Dorothy, as you had raised earlier, I wanted to call your attention now to item B in my report. I'm just simply put incredibly grateful that Chief Tangway has made the decision to prioritize his health and well-being and continue in his capacity to DPS and police chief role. Obviously, the priority in my eyes, as I've expressed in my report, is that we need to get back to the drawing board on getting a city administrator full-time for the city of Gibraltar. I asked council to consider action today, including the posting of that position again, including reaching out to MML and our contacts where we found this fine gentleman and scholar, including reaching out to our network around the communities, including leaning on our residents. We need a strong city administrator. This administration has been working incredibly hard for 9 months together. And Chief Tangway and Vince and the ladies in City Hall and all that have came together to make that operation possible. It's a lot of strain. We need a full-time city administrator to be a strong day-to-day operational oversight of the city and the departments that it's designed to oversee in our charter. We've gone through a very exhaustive search, and we have not, unfortunately, been able to land that. And most recently, while somebody selflessly put themselves forth to help satisfy that need, their health and well-being has created a circumstance where they need to remain in that position that they currently have, which is DPS and police chief role. So as I've expressed in my packet, I have included the letter from Chief Tangway. Chief Tangway, I'm not sure if you wanted to comment on anything within the letter. And council, I've included what I feel should be the priority, which is the immediate posting of our city administrator role. We've already aligned on the job description and the specifics there, and the recruitment in any capacity to establish a new pool of candidates. Council, we already have a committee that was tasked with dealing with that. I worked very well with that committee, and I thought we did a good job in exploring those avenues. So I would recommend using the same committee to evaluate and bring back to council any suitable candidates for their review.
Yeah, I think we need to post it right away. And we may get a few different ones than we had before, because it has been a little bit of time, you know, hopefully.
I would hope so, and we'll just continue to play on our network, and I think it's, that process has created additional visibility across communities that I hope will bring in additional individuals for consideration.
We may have some more college graduates just out of school.
So council, I'd be looking for a motion to post our next city administrator position using the job description that we had in place.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second. Any discussion on that job posting, council? Katie, please call roll.
Valentine,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Cox,
Yes.
Cosmore,
Yes.
McNabb,
Yes.
Molnar,
Yes.
Schumate.
Yes. Council, I don't know if it requires a motion per se. That motion's carried, so Katie, can we work on the posting immediately using the language we had previously? I think all of us should put our heads together on any sort of additional avenues for support. Is everybody on board with using that committee we had established previously to drive some of the?
The only thing that I would consider is removing the requirement of the master's degree. I think that having that in the posting probably scared some potential candidates away who have experience, relevant experience, but may not have that master's degree.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I like it. As every, council aligned on that? I don't think we necessarily need another motion per
But
se.
like in lieu of master's degree, so many years' experience, or something like that.
Okay. And then we'll play on our MML network. We'll play on, I'll bring it up at DCC meeting next with all the 13 communities there. But I think we'll just double down on that search. And everybody's okay with the committee that we had established, correct? It was Councilwoman Wood, Councilman McNabb, and myself, who just did some of the searches through MML and recruiting. Are you all good with going on that journey again together?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Awesome. That brings me to the next item, which is the surety bond for the treasurer. Surety bond for the treasurer, I know this is a discussion at our special meeting. The good news is, and I know this was shared via email, but I printed out a copy for anybody that hadn't seen that today, was that we got some guidance from MML. Treasurer Fonte, do you want to speak to this? Or would you like me to?
No, I'll speak to it. Yeah, I reached out to the treasurer at Grosse Ile because our MML search wasn't coming up with anything, and he referred me to the finance director. They had the same issue over there. She gave me the information from the Cincinnati insurance company who bonded them through the, well, it used to be called the Daily Merit insurance company in Wyandotte. And so I put the two of them together, and they've come up with this bond. I haven't really looked at it in detail. I sent it to you and the attorney and others. So hopefully it'll fit the needs of the city for now and in the future.
Yeah, and council, we'll make sure everybody's, Amy was gonna work on helping us fill it out, because Amy is probably closest to that. She helped fill out the previous application we thought might be viable. So Amy, thank you in advance. Let's get that application filled out. Council, we'll make sure that hopefully we'll be in a situation to bring this back to you on our next meeting, which will be the 26th, unless there's any feedback today for the bond topic. City Attorney, we'll make sure that your eyes are close to that. But bottom line, we need coverage, and I think we have found a path through our MML partner, so thank you. Any questions on the surety bond? Number D, I won't go into extensive detail because it's already in your packet. We provided a first 100-day update as an administration, really focus on what we had advanced as far as accomplishments relative to our first 100 days together. Since it's been 6 months since that first 100-day accomplishment, we assembled a key accomplishments list over 9 months. Obviously, I won't spend time reading it because everybody's got a lot of other places to be, and it might be a late evening with the agenda length that we have this night, but it's 4 pages. It involves an extensive amount of financial identified saving opportunities. It involves acquisition of new grants. It involves hopefully proactive, transparent information sharing with our residents, two-way engagement through methods such as survey, It involves getting a contract done with our DPW partners in a very timely fashion. It involves also reaching tentative agreements with our police, both on the patrol and command side, which will be discussed this evening. It involves numerous appointments, including this city attorney here, which we're very excited to have you on board, so thank you so much. It involves new personnel and departments to make sure we have the right people in the right seats. It involves training for all of us to learn how we best work together and follow a process. It involves infrastructure work, water main projects, sewer lining, which has led to savings. I'll stop there. We're really proud of the accomplishments, and I just wanted to take a moment to just celebrate council. I just want to thank each one of these council members. I want to thank the community for speaking up and casting your votes to have us be in these seats in front of you today. And most importantly, I want to make all the people that work hard every single day to make this operation possible. Our police, our fire, all of the amazing people in City Hall, those ladies that greet you each and every day, our clerk, our finance director, all the people that make this operation possible. While we are here in chambers every 2 weeks, there's 24/7 operation rolling. And this accomplishment list of 4 pages just acknowledges the big ticket wins, not the fact that every single day they're driving operational continuity for you all, in service of you all. So congratulations, everybody, and a deep thanks. I want to next go on to the Rental Inspection Board of Appeals. That'll be item 2 on my administrative updates. This one's pretty short and sweet. I want to pull this through from our last meeting. I pulled the charter language, which you can take a look at, and there's 2 things here. What I'd like to propose is we have a Rental Inspection Board of Appeals that we want to establish. It aligns with our charter. We should have it in place. And as we go through rental inspections, this language has been in place for a very long time. We're now enforcing them. 500 plus have been done. To navigate any concerns that arise, also noted as appeals, we wanted to make sure we had a committee to evaluate those. And so it's going to be a Rental Inspection Board of Appeals. My proposal to you all this evening is to have Vince Pestu, Carson Clausen, who's our building services manager and registered building official, and John Sant, who is a resident at large who serves in our infrastructure advisory committee, to be those members. And that's really what aligns with the charter. It's a member of public at large, city administrator, or, expert in that lane of operation, and then the building official, which in this case would be Mr. Clausen. So council, I'd be looking for a motion to establish that Rental Inspection Board of Appeals with those 3 members.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion second. Council, any discussion?
Are we talking about the fees right now, too?
I think we can close this and then maybe incorporate that as a second item, if that's appropriate.
Very well.
All right, so any other discussion? The fees I included, which we'll get to next, which is in our packet. Any other discussion? Katie, please call roll.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Cosmore?
Yes.
McNabb? Yes. Mulmer?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Well, congratulations to the Board of Appeals members, including Mr. Sant. We appreciate your service to the community and your expertise you'll bring to the table there. Next item was, there was a discussion about the appeal fee. So in our charter, it states an appeal fee of $250. I know we had raised it last time in the meeting, so floor is yours.
Yeah, well, if it's in the charter, that's $250. There's not much we can do via resolution, so we'll leave it as is.
It's in the ordinance, to be clear, not the charter.
Sorry, ordinance.
So you can amend an ordinance, but we have nothing drafted to do so. So if you guys want to do that, it's possible.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
So council, if we want to look at offline, maybe taking a look at a ordinance language revision, then we can put that back in front, 26th.
Yeah, this is different than the building department review, or building department appeal fee, right? This is just particular to rental inspections.
That's the way I read it.
Very well. Thank you.
Council, my last item for you this evening is going to be our Board of Representatives for Dispatch. So now that we have combined Rockwood and our Gibraltar home, we had discussed, and it's in your interlocal government agreement with them, that the consortium of cities shall be governed by a Board of Representatives consisting of 3 representatives from Gibraltar and 2 representatives from Rockwood. Each of them would have 1 vote, and it would be a forum for which expenditures in excess of $5,000 would be reviewed, and then a recommendation would be established for council's approval. So it's a nice way of making sure that we have accountability as we look at the financials of the operation and any unexpected needs that may arise through the 3-2 representation in that type of a representative board. So, council, what I've put in front of you, we've discussed it with the city of Rockwood. Chief Tangway and I, many others have been involved in these discussions, but simply put, we're proposing Rockwood to have Police Chief Randy Kraus and Fire Chief Dan Mercier, And then we have Gibraltar, we have Councilman Molnar, Chief Tangway, and Paul Lear from dispatch. Rockwood is aligned to that. They discussed this in their council meeting on the 7th. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that was their last council meeting date. And we'd be looking for a motion by council to establish this Board of Representatives for dispatch.
Motion to establish the Board of Representatives for dispatch being Police Chief Randy Kraus, Fire Chief Dan Mercury, Councilperson Rob Molnar, Chief Rick Tangway, and Paul Lear for dispatch.
Is there a second for that?
Second.
Second by Wood. Any discussion? Katie, please call roll.
Cox?
Yes.
Casmore?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Abstain.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Amazing. That will conclude my report, unless there's any other questions for me this evening, council. And if there's not, I'd like to get to our council reports. Any questions for me? Council reports, Councilman Valentine, you are item A, Recreation Commission. Talk to us about the Recreation Commission.
Thank you, sir. I don't really have much to report. I want to thank the Gibraltar Rockwood Rotary for the recent kayak thing and the duck race and the Recreation Committee for running all these other things. Other than that, I'll let the Director, Tammy Goris, give her report.
Awesome. And we will hear from Tammy later in the agenda. Any questions for Councilman Valentine? All right, Councilwoman Cosmore, we got ADW, Kiwanis, Rotary, and 33rd District Court. And I believe you have a proposal for council this evening as well.
Yes. First up, for the Alliance of Downriver Watershed, just a reminder that the photo contest is going on until August 31st. I did put the flyer out on all the Gibraltar pages today, so you should be able to find it. And for the 33rd District Court, you have in front of you is a resolution to accept the court's annual financial report for the year ending December 31st, 2023. We got a clear report from Plant Moran. So this was just, they just need that in order for us to get our, because I don't think we got a refund back yet, right? I think it needs to be signed, because we are getting a refund back from last year of $8,616. And they did get out, except for a few punch list items, they did get all the parking area all repaved, and it's really nice now at the court, you're not falling in holes as you go over there. So we just need to have this, each city needs to approve this resolution.
Well, thank you for representing, Chief. Thanks for the department work to make all that happen. So the motion would be ordered with council for the resolution in support of Cosmore's item. Do we have a motion to accept the 33rd District Court Annual Financial Report for the year ending December 31st, 2023?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Cox, second by McNabb. Any discussion? Katie, please call roll.
Casmore?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, and then for the Rotary, they do want to thank everyone for all the support that they received during the kayak poker run. It was a good time. It was, it's really fun to see how the city people come together, and people that was in the kayaks were having a good time, and even a lot of the members of the community came up to the area and was buying duck tickets and came to the duck race too. So we do want to thank everybody who hosted and who worked and who supported the Rotary, because this is a really important fundraiser for us. Also, just a reminder, they were taking new members. They meet on the first and third Monday at the Rockwood VFW at 6 o'clock. Please come if you'd like to join, be part of the group. And we also have tickets for the Sportsman's Card Raffle that's still available. That's the former Gun-A-Day raffle. They're $20, and you can Venmo money to get them, and City Hall has them, and so does Mercer City Hall. Mercer Insurance. And the Kiwanis Club will be handing out for free books and crafts at the Movie in the Park on August 28th, which is run by our rec department. And the Rotary will also be hosting a golf cart scavenger hunt before that, and they will also, I think we're providing the bouncy house for that too, and popcorn for the movie. So make sure to bring the kids out. Write that down for August 28th. It's a really fun day for the kids. There's going to be all kinds of stuff over there by the big pavilion for the kids. It's going to be a fun day for them. I think that's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for everything you're doing in all those lanes and for the resolution. We got that motion carried for you today. Councilwoman Wood, or sorry, before I move on, any questions for Councilwoman Cosmore? Thanks, I'll just echo the thanks to the Rotary. I'm sure that'll be commentary later too by Parks and Recreation Director or others, but echo the thanks to the Rotary for a fun and exciting event with the kayak poker run, and ultimately, more importantly, how they use those means to garner funds that help benefit the communities they serve. Just means a lot. Appreciate it. As an example, I know they've, as we discussed, proposed the basketball court improvements or other means of investing back into our community via the event. So thanks to the residents for rallying and being safe. Thanks for keeping people safe. And thanks to Rotary for providing funds. Councilwoman Wood, talk to us about Beautification Commission, Historical Museum, and I can't wait to hear a GOAT update.
Okay, I have a couple things for the beautification. The goats are here, they're in place, there's 5 goats, they're here for a week. And we've had really a great turnout with people coming to actually see them. I know that our attorney kind of laughed at me last time, but, but we did have a big turnout. People were coming with their children. Now, I know the whole fencing, the electric fence is, you know, really worrisome to people, but nobody's, I mean, there have been some people that touched it, and namely my husband, his brother, our son, had to go and make a spectacle. So, you know, we've just thought, you know, just let him do that. But they're starting in one area, and they kind of roam around and they eat their favorite thing first. So if it doesn't look like anything is being munched on, it's because they're all over. They're not just like starting here and going in. But it's pretty interesting. I don't know. I think it's kind of fun. So I know Rich is laughing at me. I see you over there. But a lot of people are interested in it. And one other item for beautification is that our gator is now completely dead. I was using it Saturday, and we only made it down the driveway to Bayview, and we had to have it towed back. So I don't know, that's a very important piece of equipment for our DPW for a lot of different reasons. And beautification borrows it, we use it. And then it always seems like when we get these half-dead pieces of equipment, we just pretty much kill them off. So I'm hoping that, you know, maybe there's some room somewhere that we can find a new gator for our DPW, or I don't know if we're talking about leasing, but I don't think that has anything to do with a gator.
Is that in the enterprise package?
Enterprise.
Yep, it's part of a package from Enterprise. We can check with them.
Awesome.
It was part of their original proposal to get 2, and then we kind of spun off and waited, but we can check and get your price and bring it back.
Awesome.
Okay.
Another thought process there was a ordinance vehicle that could double as a beautification vehicle, possible small pickup truck with a tank in the back, and ordinance could use it during the day for 2 days a week they work. So we'll hopefully put our heads together and figure it out.
Okay, because the truck we have now, the pickup, it's huge, you know, I mean, Sheila and I are the only ones watering, you know, and we need a stepladder to get in it, we kind of slide out of it, we can't reach over it, so it's too big for us, but I just wanted to put that out there. That's it for beautification. The museum, not much happening there because it's only open once a month, but this past Sunday, not Sunday, Saturday, I think it was, a lady had come in and wanted to see the museum, and so Mary called me and I came over to show her. And her and her son are from Vancouver, and they have been camping. They've been camping for like 2.5 months, and they do this every year. So I'm totally amazed that somebody from Vancouver would actually find us down here, but whatever, and they were amazed with what we had up there, so I just wanted to put that out there. That's it.
Love it. Thank you for all the work on both fronts. Councilwoman Wood, any questions for her on either front? Great. Councilman Cox, Planning Commission, DDA.
Planning Commission has 2 scheduled public hearings for the 20th. One regarding the proposed horse stable in the R1 district and that special use language. The other one is the reduction of sites in the Marine District C3 for the RV pads. The language is being reduced from the 39 originally allowed to 26 that are built. So please come to those public hearings if you have anything to say about those.
Appreciate that.
I have more on the next meeting, because after our planning commission, DDA, is when I have more information about what occurred.
I love it. Next meeting, the 20th?
20th, August 20th.
Awesome. Any questions for Councilman Cox? Councilman McNabb, talk to us about the waterways.
I have not much to offer at this point. This week we'll be launching the harvester and give it a whirl to see where we're at, see how long it lasts, and that's going to happen this week. That's where we're at now.
Great. Councilman McNabb, let us know how we can help with any discussions with the county around the procurement process, as well as the current state of waterways and the management of
I'm
those.
still waiting on him, so I didn't have anything to offer.
Appreciate that. Any questions for Councilman McNabb? Councilman Molnar?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Awesome. Parks and Recreation Director Goris?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This week, today, Senior Olympics opened in Southgate. We had 6 participants for Gibraltar. The banquet is Friday. This week, we're working on the farm market. We have 2 more music in the parks. August 28th is movie in the park, and Gibraltar Rotary and Kiwanis and Recreation all go in on this event. The movie will be Wish. And we're also working on a fall festival. I also am here to support Rick. I've worked for this city for 23 years, and I've never felt our employees feel like they're next. Everybody feels attacked, and I'm very saddened by this. And if Rick goes, my keys will be on your desk tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Parks and Recreation Director DeGoris. Completely agree with the sentiment. Any questions for Parks and Recreation Director Goris? City Attorney, floor is yours.
I do have a report. I'm giving attorney a full audience and he's gonna talk.
Yes.
So I have a proposed settlement and a release agreement in the council packet today. I think you all have had a chance to review it. It's involving an ongoing litigation, which I took over, but we've reached a resolution on it. This is not an admission of any liability by the city or an admission of wrongdoing. This is just for the purposes of resolving litigation. And any claims that could have been brought by the defendant up until the date of signing this agreement are released through this release agreement. So I'm looking for approval by council of this settlement or release agreement so that the mayor may sign it, and then we can be done with this litigation.
And respecting the confidential nature of some of the discussions thus far, can you comment on the date when this originated, just for the sake of council and public?
The alleged occurrence, it was over 5 years ago, I believe, is when it first started. So this has been ongoing for quite some time, but it's finally come to a resolution, which I think is reasonable.
Thank you for driving the resolution. Council, I know we've discussed this in closed sessions as appropriate, but council, he's looking for a motion as outlined so that we can sign this settlement agreement.
Make a motion that we sign the settlement agreement as noted.
Motion by Valentine, is there a second? Second by McNabb. Council, any discussion? Katie, please call roll.
McNabb? Yes. Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Cosmore?
Yes.
Great. Any other topics from you?
Do you want me to bring up this part?
Yeah.
Yeah, so based on the recent job post, there's a little housekeeping that needs to occur with the resolution 24008, which was appointing Chief Tangway as the dual function for that time period. My understanding, it's no longer to be the case because of the job posting, and if that is the case, if he's only gonna assume the role of DPS head, we need to rescind the old resolution, because that will be in effect until it's rescinded. So that's housekeeping that council needs to address at this point, if they so choose, or at a later date, but either way, it needs to be addressed.
Yeah, so council, per the motion earlier around the appointment and the associated job posting for Chief Tangway, given the letter and discussion that we just had, we would need to rescind that motion 24008, which exactly states, motion by Valentine and seconded by Cosmore to adopt a resolution appointing Richard Tangway as city administrator effective July 1st, 2024, and doing double duty as a city administrator and police chief / public safety director until October 31st, 2024, carried unanimously.
So Pat needs to rescind it, right?
Does the individual that raised the resolution motion need to be the one that makes a motion to rescind?
It does not need to be, but it would not hurt. Does not need to be, but it would not hurt.
I will make the motion that we rescind the appointment of Richard Tangway to city administrator.
And I'll support it.
And you'll second it. Council, any discussion?
I have discussion item. Is that, I guess, when it comes to these issues of succession and personnel, they're hard conversations to have, but they're conversations that need to be had. And so when we have these conversations, we have to do them with respect. And when we disagree, to label somebody as disrespectful or to employ bullying against somebody when they disagree on a matter of opinion is really, really disappointing. So I feel like we have crossed a threshold to try and bully and intimidate people that have different opinions, and it's just really disappointing. For a matter of fact on this, if this is a resignation from the city administrator position, is it a resignation from the city administrator position? And/or is it just a rescission of this motion?
We're asking to rescind the resolution.
So I'm asking the attorney, was there a, there was a period of 6 weeks of employee in that category. Are we accepting a resignation from that position?
My understanding is that the chief submitted a letter into which he states he no longer wants to be the city administrator for health reasons, and that he is desiring to keep his original function as DPS head. There's a resolution which appoints him, and a date certain as to which he'll be the city administrator. So he is now declining that appointment as city administrator, but there's a resolution which appoints him as city administrator. So council has to rescind and/or modify that resolution at this point, because if it is not, then on that date certain, he will be appointed.
Well, which has already occurred. It was July 1st.
But then he'll be the full-time on that date certain, and does not want to be the full-time city administrator per his communication that's in the packet.
And he has no employment contract for a city administrator role that is active.
Correct. No contract was ever entered on city administrator function. His current contract is for the DPS and police chief.
Right now, the existing police chief contract that we have in place, is that a firm date contract, or is that an open-ended contract?
I have to look at it in more detail, but what I know of it is an at-will type contract. There are certain cause functions, though, in that at-will. So to say it's a blanket at-will is inaccurate, because there are reasons for cause. But I'd have to review to see the term or term certain, but my understanding is he's operating under what that contract states at this point.
And he's actively getting payroll approved from council or by council. And the contract says the mayor may terminate the chief with cause. The city council may terminate the chief with or without cause upon 30 days written notice.
So for full transparency purposes, we have been in conversations with Chief Tangway for, several months, and it has done a tremendous job in his position as police chief, which is why we offered the position of city administrator. It was a vote of confidence that he could perform that at a high level. We've gone through a procedure to where we started in the direction of appointing a replacement at chief, or at least following the path forward to putting police officer opening out on for advertisement for filling a position. We have a number of applicants, I believe. I don't know what we've done with that, if anything. So we've started a procedure on that, And at some point recently, Chief Tangway has decided to switch gears and wants to stay now as the police chief and not pursue the city administrator position. It puts us in a challenging position, and talking about it is what we have to do to resolve it, to resolve the challenge. Bullying and accusing people that are willing to talk about it as being disrespectful doesn't get us there. But having the conversations as what do we do next, and keeping each other in the loop and discussing it in public in front of everybody is what helps bring us forward and bring us together and not divide us. When we accuse people of being disrespectful because they want to discuss the situation publicly, that divides us. And it's really disappointing that we've decided to go down that path of an administration is to create division. And I hope we can go forward and try to work together and not continue this avenue or path towards division, because it doesn't create an environment or a culture where people feel like they're able and willing to speak their piece. We as council people were elected to give our opinions and to be part of the decision-making. We have 7 votes here to do that, and to admonish people for being part of the conversation and to ask to be part of a conversation is really, really disappointing.
I don't know of anybody that's admonished anybody for this.
I think,
I haven't heard that. I've heard some citizens that have support.
I think the irony of you using the words,
Let me comment on that. On our last special meeting, when I brought up advertising for the police chief's role because we wanted to get the ball moving in that direction, I was told I was being disrespectful by bringing it up at this time because of the health scare. It wasn't about the health scare. It was about that we had made a resolution by October 31st to get the position in place. We did not know what the circumstances at that time were going to be with the chief's decision, and we left it alone. But moving that forward in the advertising is what I was requesting, and then I was met with being disrespectful for wanting to put that out because of the health scare. That's where I have an issue with being told I was disrespectful. It wasn't disrespect. It was about, we had made a motion to do something. I wanted to proceed with moving that along. We had a special meeting. I thought that was an opportune time to try to move that forward.
well, thank you for speaking for yourself, Councilman Cox, around disrespectful, because that's the only context it's came up for. So thank you. I'm not sure when anybody's referred to you as disrespectful. I think it's ironic that you're using the words intimidation and bullying, but we can get to that in a minute. As far as disrespectful goes, that was a special meeting that was called for which you pushed to talk about a police chief posting when our police chief was days out of the hospital at home recovering. And I felt that was disrespectful. I'll own that. I'll own that. The council had already led to a path of talking about this publicly on August 12th. We all sat in the same chambers and said we were going to reconvene this topic August 12th. And guess what happens? You, via closed-door text in public in front of everybody, ask for a police chief posting, and then while our police chief is at home recovering from a hospital
What was
stay.
closed door? That was a public meeting that you decided not to publish.
We had text message threads of you requesting the police chief position, being discussed at a July 31st council meeting. That's what I'm referring to.
It's not a closed meeting. That was a special meeting
I
that
said it was
you
a
called because you wanted to remove Mr. Fonte from the treasurer position. That was a public, open meeting.
Nobody was removing Treasurer Fonte from the treasurer position. We were finding a path for a surety bond, which we just discussed today. So that's incorrect. My point is, disrespectful was used by me, and I will own that, for the sake of the special meeting. I did not feel it was respectful to have a discussion with somebody days out of hospital recovering about posting their position, and I'll stand by those words.
When we disagree on
Let me,
I'm saying as a community person, and there seems to be some discord amongst you guys.
Yeah,
And some argumentation, and so we don't want bullying, we don't want intimidation, we don't want rudeness, that's on you.
100%, and so I'd like,
Done right now, and we need to move on. We have a person's livelihood in our hands right, I'm talking, John.
no, with 100%.
Yeah, why don't we call it to order? Call it to order. You know, this is ridiculous.
There's a public comment section earlier. I asked that we respect that public comment section. All I'm asking for is what's the action from the discussion that you've just shared? We have an active motion to rescind the resolution 24008. We have that seconded. I appreciate the discussion. Is there something specific you're asking for?
I think that we should be coordinating what is our plan of proceeding in both fronts. We've talked about listing the job for city administrator, and what is the foreseeable future? What are you going for with respect to what is the next duration on police chief? What is your intents there?
I would encourage us to have a discussion at council. I think action number one is to pursue the city administrator, allow chief to step back in his DPS police chief capacity. If council wants to explore the avenues from there, then that's a council level discussion. I think the priority should be on securing a city administrator, as I put in the packet.
Yeah, we said we're going to talk about this August 12th, and this is August 12th.
We're here.
Precisely.
How long is left on the chief's contract, on his contract?
From a timeline perspective, the next section we will enter is city administrator, for which we said that chief had volunteered or offered to council to not have a contract discussion until the police negotiations, both patrol and command, are settled. Obviously, tonight, that's on your packet and in your packet, so we would hopefully have some sort of understanding of that.
I'd like to bring some clarity to, please understand that we were under the impression that the chief was the city administrator at the point when I was asking for advertising. Even though of the health scare, he was in that position. So moving that position forward was a request for it. Understand that, so it doesn't seem
100%.
like a disrespectful motion or move, okay? We were under the impression that that position was already filled. It wasn't until recently that we
Respect that.
discovered that.
Respect
okay?
that.
So please understand that part.
Respect that.
Can I make I'm going to make a motion. Well, let
Your
me
motion's,
say,
motion's already on the table for rescinding that resolution.
let's vote on that then.
Any other discussion on this resolution? Rescind. Okay, Katie, please call roll.
Mulnar,
Abstain.
Schumate,
Yes.
Valentine,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Cox,
Abstain.
Cosmore,
Yes.
McNabb.
Abstain.
Motion carried.
Motion carries.
Thank you, council. City attorney, anything from you before we turn it over to our city administrator?
Nothing further.
Great. City administrator?
No. I'm ticked at the moment. I'm mad, so I have a hard time getting things out. I don't like how it's going. I don't like how that, I truly think we're disrespecting Rick at this point. I truly do. He's been a wonderful, loyal employee. He has done an outstanding job. This man came here, and our police department, I love you guys. I appreciate everything they do. I really do. But our police department was behind the times, and I was new to the council at then, and he come in, and he has done so much good for that.
Absolutely.
And for us to even, not want him back in there, I mean, yeah, I would have loved to have him, try the city manager. I mean, he was doing that for us. He wasn't doing that because he wanted it. He was doing that for us. And if he decided not to, he decided before the time it was completely done, fine, that was fine. He could do that. He should go back to his job. And if it had been a few months ago, his contract up, we would have said in a heartbeat, oh, yeah, we want to keep him because he's done such a wonderful job. Is that how we treat our employees? They loyal employees? Do we say, okay, we're just, you've done all this for us, we don't want you, okay, bye. No, we don't do that, but that's what it's sounding like. And that's what, when this came up, I had no idea that people were talking about not keeping him. I was just floored.
100%.
Because, like I said, he's wonderful, and I know it's disappointing for our guys because they did think they were going to move up, and I get that because we're a small city. We don't have many places to go, but we also have wonderful community to live in. So when you are working in this community, you have a great place to work. I would love to be able to promote every officer we had to, more money up. I would love to be able to do that, but we just can't because we're small and we don't have the money. But I just can't believe we're going to try. I'm just so mad. I can't even talk, and that's unusual for me. You know me.
I'd like to say something as well.
Yeah.
You know, I've been on a cop for 37 years. I'm retired. Before Chief Tangway got here, this department had no discipline, no accountability, and no leadership. He has raised this department to levels unseen prior to this. So I have 100% respect for him, and I want him to continue to be the Department of Public Safety
Yep.
Director.
Yeah.
During this, during this whole process, I've not heard a single person say one thing bad about Chief Tangway.
Yeah,
Not-
you
not
abstained
one.
to pull from the resolution.
Yeah, and I can do, I can vote however I wish.
Be clear.
I've not, you're amazing. I've not heard a single person, anybody that works with you or works for you or works around you, I've not heard a single person say a single bad thing.
So what would be the reason to fire him?
Please,
Who's
call to
firing
order.
Anybody.
We didn't try to fire him. We tried to give him the highest position we have in the city. It's changed now, okay? So this is where it's gotten to this point. But please understand that we respect him enough to ask him to do that position. We're at a new crossroads now. So that's why the discussion is happening.
Please, no
But
public comment.
I want to stress that we think enough about him to offer him that position.
Well, if it's changed now, then let him continue to be the Department of Public Safety Director.
And that's
I don't understand
exactly-
it. Why are we even talking about
That's
this?
exactly where we're at. And I think when the topic of succession comes up, the biggest advocate for succession planning, for training, for education, for empowering the department is the police chief sitting next to you. So I really think that he's put the department in a very prime time position for succession with everything he's invested in the department.
You know, he's had a health scare, and I don't blame him for not wanting to do both jobs, because they both stressful. He's still in one stressful position, but I don't blame him for not wanting to be the acting administrator. Does anybody here blame him for that? You know, we should all be able to understand why that took place.
I think,
Seriously,
disgrace. I think we should move to the city administrator report, and there's items A through F for you, Vince.
Jesus Christ, I don't get that fucking.
First item is requesting city council to approve an intergovernmental agreement with the city of Trenton. This agreement is to provide water service to the leachate treatment system as part of the McLeod Steel Superfund site that's being overseen by State Eagle on Vreeland Road. Trenton, as I understand it, will provide the meter, which will be paid for by the EPA in this case, and we will be billing associated with the water usage for that site and project.
Thank you, Vince. Council, any questions? If not, motion would be in order for approval of the intergovernmental agreement with City of Trenton to provide water service to the leachate system.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Cosmore. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Wood. Any discussion on this item, council? Katie, please call roll.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Cosmore?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Motion carried. Vince, you have your approval. Before you get to B and C, I just want to give you a special shout out for all the hard work you did to make these agreements, tentative agreements possible. So thank you. Item B is yours.
Okay, all right, thank you. The next item is requesting city council ratification of a collective bargaining agreement with the Command Officers Association of Michigan. It's a 3-year agreement that would take effect July 1, 2024. The history of it is previously this group was represented by Police Officers Labor Council. Their contract expired June 30th. The entire department petitioned to decertify a POLC, and subsequently what they did was break into 2 different groups, the command officers and then the road patrol officers. That also included the part-time dispatchers. In this case, with the command officers, there's 3 employees represented, 2 sergeants and a lieutenant. The negotiations was reached a tentative agreement on the 24th of July, and it was subsequently ratified by the bargaining unit. Contained in there is the tentative agreement that was signed by the respective parties. As you go through many of the items, some of the language, like outstanding issues, okay with dues, fees, deductions, lengthy items associated with that, but most of it just dealing with dues, deductions, and that type of thing. And then we had some just cause language that we discussed, and we were okay with language that was proposed by the union. Also, we were proposed by the union, we were fine with adding a step for mediation, understanding either party can move directly to arbitration at any point. Seniority and promotions agreed to remove the language related to sergeants, given the restructuring of the two different bargaining units. Court time, reached an agreement with 4-hour minimum, except for district, would be at 3. Personnel leave, they requested an increase from 24 to 32, which we agreed. Through some research with Chief Tangay, we're still very competitive with other surrounding agencies. Shift differential, increased it by a nickel per hour, but limited it to hours between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. Essentially, what you had was a restructuring with the sergeant and lieutenant's pay, in that they're going to be starting with the sergeant 10% essentially over what the highest paid road patrol officer would be. The lieutenant would be 8% above that, which is pretty standard throughout the industry. But it incorporates a 4% increase in July 25, 3% the following year. Also included language with a bachelor's degree and FBI and/or staff and command to add another 2% for incentive to pursue that education as well. Continuing education, professional duties, we had some discussion about where the bargaining unit was looking for EMS pay. This is broader and covering other professional requirements, and we eliminated the physical agility aspect of it. The uniform allowance is at $750. I think previously it was $650, but it went up a little bit. Longevity, status quo, fitness for duty, providing some language that the South Lyon agreement had, which we found to be acceptable. And then the pension has letters of understanding that will reopen the pension specifically to evaluate an annuity withdrawal. We'll need to put together some language with that. Essentially, the agreement is that this will be revenue neutral, both to the pension system as well as the employee, so that there is neither a cost additionally that the city would incur or the employee by taking this annuity at the time of retirement. And then lastly, 40-hour rollover maximum for vacation, not to have the bank exceed 240. So by and large, that's the contract. We had our discussions in closed session, and very appreciative of the amicable and workable nature of the command officers and their bargaining unit with the POM.
Thank you so much.
That's a lot, but
Thank you so much, Vince. I know this is in line with the closed session that we had following the council meeting on the 22nd, obviously signed from a tentative agreement perspective. So you need a motion to ratify?
yes.
Council, motion be in your court to ratify the COAM collective bargaining agreement.
Motion made.
Motion by Molnar,
Second.
second by Valen, second by McNabb, whoever Katie has.
That's just the COM, that's not the POM yet.
Nope, that's just COAM.
Yep.
Discussion? Katie, please call roll.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Cosmore?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Molnar.
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes. Motion carried, ratified COAM.
Thank you. Next item is a request to ratify the Police Officers Association of Michigan tentative agreement that was agreed upon July 24th. Also subsequently ratified by the bargaining unit. Much of the same provisions related with dues and deductions and discipline, grievance, seniority, promotion, court time, and personal leave are very similar to the command officers. Vacation leave, we did make some adjustments, going from 40 hours after 12 months service to 80 hours, and then made some adjustments at 36 months and 84 months as well. Bringing more in line with the leave time that you would find with other law enforcement agencies. And again, the rollover maximum of 40 as well. No changes with holidays. The shift differential, again, went from 55 max to 60. Again, this is for the road patrol, because dispatch will have something different. Wages 4% effective July 1 this year, another 4% the following year, 3% in 2026. Again, similar continuing education pay at $900 per year, eliminating the physical agility. Status quo with longevity, fitness for duties. Again, similarly, we were fine with the language proposed by the bargaining unit. The pension has three different letters of understanding that we would look into. One is just increasing, looking at the overtime and longevity incorporated into their final average compensation with the Tier 2 employees and leaving their final average compensation, the multiplier at 2.25. The second one is increasing it going forward from 2.25 to 2.7. 2.7 is what the employees prior to July 1 of 2014 had received. And then the last is looking at if it was a retroactive from 2.2 to 2.7. Part of this, it's an agreement with the union that we would look this through an actuarial. Neither party is committed to accepting it, so the council, if there's any changes, would have to come back before the city council. But the actuarial will tell you what the cost would be for this change. Dispatch agreement that we're not looking to outsource it during the term of this agreement. We do provide now some vacation leave. If you work over 80 hours per month, you'll receive additional 5 hours with that. And then pretty sizable jump, but clearly brings in line where the dispatchers with other communities lie. And so once you jump up to $20.50, you're looking at another $1 increase each of the following 2 years. And then lastly, because they're working the traditional 8-hour shifts, you'll see 3 to 11, which would traditionally been viewed as the afternoon shift differential going from 45 to 50 cents an hour, and then from 11, the midnight shift going from 55 cents to 60, essentially a nickel an hour. So requesting that council consider ratification of that POAM agreement.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Cosmore, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Wood. Council, any discussion on POAM tentative agreement? Should align with our closed session.
Yeah.
Great. Katie, please call roll.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Cosmore?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
All right, motion carried to ratify the POAM collective bargaining agreement. And Vince, back to you for item D.
This item is requesting a ratification of enterprise maintenance management and fleet rental agreement. At the last meeting, council had authorized going forward with it. This is the actual agreement, broad agreement with the services provided by enterprise as part of our fleet management program.
Great, council, this aligns with our discussion last time in the associated presentation and motion. So council will be looking for a motion to ratify enterprise maintenance management and fleet rental agreement. Is there a motion from council for this agreement?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Cosmore. Second by Valentine. Any discussion on the enterprise maintenance management and fleet rental agreement? Great, Katie, please call roll.
Cox?
Yes.
Cosmore?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Motion carried. Vince, back to you for item F. Sorry, item E.
Thank you. This item is requesting approval of enterprise lease agreements, one for a 2024 Chevrolet Tahoe, and the other would be for two 2025 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 pickup trucks. The Tahoe would be part of the fleet with the police department. One of the vehicles, the Silverados, would be in the police department as well, and one in DPW. It was discussed at that point in time, to bring these to city council, each of these lease agreements, the calculations and the specifications for each of the vehicle are contained in the attachment. When you look at it, the lease agreement is, for the Tahoe is $1,355 each month, 62 cents. And for the Silverados, it's $859.72. And then, as we discussed a couple of weeks ago, on the back end, what happens is we get the cash associated with the residual value. And in many ways, that's where we found the value with, in my experiences, with enterprises that were unloading the vehicles at their time where they have the greatest market value before they fall into higher cost maintenance, so.
Thank you, Vince. If there's no questions, the motion would be in order for approval of the lease agreements for the 2024 Chevrolet Tahoe and 2025 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 pickup trucks, aligned with the directive to bring each of these back to council when they're proposed. Is there a motion by council?
I'll make a motion,
Motion by Wood.
lease agreement.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by McNabb.
They have to be 1,500. The trucks
Discussion?
themselves.
What's that?
The trucks themselves are gonna be 1,500 series. They're gonna be worked. There's no chance to get a 2,500 series, a heavier truck.
Well, I haven't been part of that discussion and the utilization that.
Yeah, so this happened real quick, why I was off. This is usually just enough to get them to order the trucks, but there may be a change. If there is a change, we'll let you know. One of the trucks is going to be for a Detective Bureau replacement car. We went with the truck because when we flip it, well, higher value when it goes back in, and the price is down right now on that Silverado truck. The other truck, we may end up with the 2,500. We're going to probably start working on it now, the one that I'm back, and two that Bill, and I know Bill and Bruce had some conversations about what they would do with that truck. And now with Dorothy's Mule, that may be, or whatever we call it, that may be something we spin and try to change, so. But it gives, we still have flexibility. This is ordering way out.
Great. Any other discussion? Katie, please call roll.
Cosmore?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Motion carried. And if there are any changes as you solidify inventory, can you please bring those back to council?
Yep.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Item F, back to you.
Through the Water Resources Committee, they've asked that we purchase channel markers. I think there's 4 to 6 of them that we're looking at, and so I'm requesting council to authorize the purchase for a not-to-exceed amount of $1,300. And then I'd work with Mr. McNabb, looking at what we need to order and get those going. I don't know.
Coming from
That'll be
the,
fine. I mean, when you get the truck, you get bigger brakes, transmission, everything lasts longer. You're gonna work.
I'm talking about the mark,
We're on a channel mark.
the channel markers.
he's talking item
Oh,
F.
the
channel
lights.
Yeah.
Oh,
mark,
yeah,
For the
okay.
waterways.
I was still thinking trucks, sorry.
Sorry about that,
Correct.
though.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that's been a partnership with Councilman McNabb and the
Right.
Waterways.
We had 4 lights ordered,
Yep.
correct.
Thank you for all the
They
work
had to
there.
come before council for,
Appreciate that. Any, Chief Kane?
I have a question. First, I apologize, I just drove straight back from Richmond, Virginia. Are the marker lights going to be the same ones?
yes, that's what he ordered, the same ones.
Okay. Are you just replacing some or replacing them all?
At this point, we need 2. We want to have 2 in stock.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't place the order. I'm just going off of what they used before.
Okay, because we have replacement parts for some of those already.
We have
so-
batteries, replacement batteries and parts and caps.
Batteries and caps, yep.
Okay.
So I don't know what they needed, or we just needed to replace them all.
Do we want to wait on this one to
There are
check?
some
our
missing.
That's up
so-
to them. I was just asking a question,
Thanks for
why
flagging
we're
it.
replacing them, so.
If you just, I would still ask this, just to prove it not to exceed $1,300. That way, you know, we'll
If you
assume,
need it,
if
it
it's
doesn't come
needed,
back.
it's there. If
Correct.
not,
That'll be fine.
So a motion contingent on lack of inventory or something like that?
Yeah.
Great. Council, a motion be in order for authorization to purchase channel marker lights up to $1,300, dependent on inventory, if you so chose.
Motion to approve authorization to purchase channel marker lights not to exceed $1,300.
Second.
Second by Cosmore. Any further discussion? Katie, please call roll.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Cosmore?
Yes.
Can I ask Councilman McNabb a question? Art,
Councilman McNabb,
Art,
Chief's got a
since we
question.
talked about the channel mark, a while back, you were in my office, and we were talking about an electric bill for one of those channel markers. Did that ever get resolved?
That was the range lights on Horace Island.
Yep.
Yes, I do believe we had that resolved.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we're gonna bring it back
Didn't
to
come up
council for
much.
formality purposes, but just for everybody's sake, electricity is being used by a private resident to
Correct.
support a marker on Horse Island. We've spoken with the resident. We'll work out an appropriate level of agreement to make sure that we manage that appropriately.
So it just made me think about it when this came up.
Yeah, thank you.
Chief Kane,
Along with that one, there's also one in Gibraltar Boatyard. Those range markers are off the power in Gibraltar Boatyard, I'm pretty sure.
That'll be my contribution.
awesome. Thank you. Any other topics for you, Vince?
No, that's enough.
All right, well, it's a robust update, thank you. Clerk Tomasic,
No report.
any questions for Clerk Tomasic? Treasurer Fonte,
No report, Mayor.
any questions for Treasurer Fonte? Finance Director McEwen.
Okay, so, item 1, I have a check signer resolution for the Public Service Credit Union. Whereas the City of Gibraltar is requesting that 2 signers be required for all external transfers with Public Service Credit Union. I included a list of all the signers and adopted, approved, and passed. They have to have a resolution to put this on that account, so I would like you guys to please pass this resolution.
Awesome. I think Treasurer Fonte and Finance Director Amy and many others, thank you for taking the step to create more check and balance on the account access and control, so appreciate that. Is there a motion to establish signers for external transfers with Public Service Credit Union?
Motion made.
Motion by Molnar, is there a second? Second by Cox. Any discussion? Thanks again.
No problem.
Katie, please call roll.
Mulner?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Cosmore?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Motion carried. Amy, back to you.
Okay, my second item is I had to make an emergency purchase. Katie was at a conference and we had to get this thing running again so that we could broadcast. I didn't realize how much the Black Magic Web Presenter would cost. It is over $500. It was $568.01. And I just wanted to bring that to council's attention and get a motion on that proposed action to get it approved.
Thank you for taking care of that. 56801, there'd be a motion for emergency purchase of Black Magic Web Presenter in council's court.
Motion made.
Motion by Molnar, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Wood. Any discussion? Katie, please call roll.
Thank you for bringing this, Amy, after it was an emergency purchase, but thank you for bringing it afterwards. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you. Katie, please call roll.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Cosmore?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulner?
Yes.
Back to you for item C.
Okay, and my last thing is the investment portfolio for council to see. Most of our investments are currently in CDs and money markets, and I have begun transferring over to Michigan Class, which I hope to transfer more money to that shortly. But this is just an update to show you where we are with all of that. And also, since I guess I'm up here, I would also like to comment that Chief Tangway is amazing. He has helped me with the finances for the police department a great deal, and I greatly appreciate him. And that's all I have.
Thank you so much, Amy. Well, without further ado, let's pass it over to Police Chief Tangway.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Council, before you tonight is the activity report for the month of July, full month report, showing calls for service, traffic stops, arrests, trash reports. Overtime reports also included, along with the SRR billing for last year and the Records Bureau report. Some news I wanted to update our dispatch consolidation with Rockwood. We got up and running on this past Monday. That transition went really smooth. I was still off. I came in anyways just to see it and over kind of watch. And it went really good. What we're doing right now, so everybody knows, to provide the service we feel is important, we have a Rockwood trained dispatcher, someone that previously worked in Rockwood, working with our current dispatchers that have not worked in Rockwood. So we're always trying to have someone in there that's worked in Rockwood with someone who has not worked in Rockwood. That seems to be very successful. And if we go down to one person, because of staffing levels, it has been just someone who has both Gibraltar and Rockwood experience. We did run into a glitch this past weekend where 911 service went out in Rockwood. I received a text from Mayor Kotz at about 11:50 p.m. I got in here about midnight, and we started problem solving with our DCC people and got it back up and running by 1. Unfortunately, they're still trying to determine what it was. Rockwood did have some building issues where they've had a flood in their building, so we don't know if that caused it, some wiring, or just computer routing on the back end. But unfortunately, 911 calls were not being answered if you were in the city of Rockwood by anybody, and that's never supposed to happen. They're always supposed to be routed to somewhere. It took a little bit to get it fixed, but we got it fixed, and that's on the company that does it. We've ran several tests, and it is up and running, so we're happy with that. Also, in the packet, you'll see a letter of recognition written by Lieutenant Bullard for Officer Bates, who happens to be in the room here, on a great case he had. He did some great work on it, and if you read, just a little detail, our local gas station got broken into, and it took a couple days. We had a description. Officer Bates made the stop a day or two later, and it's a juvenile suspect that ended up confessing and bringing some items back he stole, so it was great work. Just taking a chance, and we appreciate Officer Bates for that, and Officer Bullard for writing him that letter of recognition for that. I gave everybody a letter that's from the 33rd District Court showing our fines and costs. Our fines and costs continue to trend down. The district court budgets for us, the city budget, $6,850 a month that we would have to pay the court. That's over for anything from landlord tenants, cost of tickets, a lot of things go into that variation. So out of that $6,850, this, what I provided to you is we owe $890 this month. So we don't owe $6,000, we only owe $800. So that's great news for us. Love to see that go to zero, but we've been, the last 3 months up have been like 900, 1,500. So we're in great work there by our, not only our officers and staff, but, the court. I think if you see the courts, they've been audited recently and they're making changes, electronic payments. If you read that audit report from them, the electronic payments alone is unbelievable how much more money they're bringing in. So hopefully they've fixed some of their deficiencies too through their audit. Because that comes back to us at about 4% of service from the communities downriver. Fire department payrolls provided for you, showing that we paid out $7,050 for the month of July. Fire department payroll. Ordinance officer report is in there. Let me get that down here too before we get to the action items. I've got a couple things. I want to talk about our gym. So if you remember, we had the fundraiser, fishing tournament. Captain Steve ran that fishing tournament for us, and we raised around $20-some thousand. The gym equipment has started to arrive, starting to be installed by our officers. This young fireman here in front has been carrying a lot of stuff around, a lot. I walked back there the other day, and he was sweating, hauling out dumbbells, some old stuff. So we appreciate the help on it. The unfortunate part is the equipment came fully put together, and we were trying to fit it through, about a 32-inch door maybe? So out came the ratchets, but we appreciate that that's going. That's going to be nice. And I told Dorothy we'll put the rest of the stuff in the museum that we don't need anymore. So it's been back there a long time. Part of the audit process came up that we don't have a signature setting on our time cards. And if everybody's aware that we moved the police and city employees and DPW employees to a scheduling software called Pace Scheduler that we brought over. Well, they did have the feature available, and we're going to turn it on for Nets payroll. So the employees will sign their pay card electronically. If they have any issues, they will have to flag those issues electronically. So it should put a little more checks and balance on the employee and the supervisor before it gets to payroll. So that's something that's being turned on. They turned it on in March, and they sent out a little teeny email. Well, their emails, because they send, every time someone puts a time off slip in, it comes through email. Well, our internet was blocking it. So I found it through doing some research with them, and we got that set up, and I sent the email out to Amy, and she's pretty excited about that, I think, because it came at the right time, right during the audit, so. And before I get to the action items, two things. I want to say thank you to everybody who came here tonight. I didn't ask anybody to come here. I didn't ask for anybody's support, but I really appreciate it. Nobody, and Councilman, Kotz, no one's ever said a bad word, and I agree, they haven't. Unfortunately, I was getting messages and calls, and I sent out a text message to everybody that just said, I'm going to respect the process and let it go. I'm not going to get involved. I'm not going to, be upset. But, it was upsetting to hear that there's a possibility that I may not be retained. I made this decision. It was hard. I've never ran away from a fight, as you would say, or a challenge. I thought it was a challenge. But with what recently just happened to me, I felt in the best interest, get my health in order, make sure I am right. And I would have been asked to supervise 7 departments instead of 2, and that could have been a little more stress, and I just wanted to get myself ready. So I appreciate everybody's support on that and coming in to speak, and I'll be humbled forever and think about tonight. So thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on. Moving on to action items. The first action item I have tonight is the 2024 Fire Department wage scale. When I first kind of became Director of Public Safety, I would ask some questions sometimes about, like, how's the fire department paid, or is there any kind of document? There really was just whatever the chief said was the pay. There was nothing brought to council every year. And so we kind of wrote a little contract, a wage scale contract, and just put it out there. We wanted to bring it in July, but we got delayed a little bit. But in your packet tonight is a 2024 Fire Department wage scale. Some major changes that are on here. First and foremost, our paid-on-call fire department received no extra pay for coming in on a holiday. And I felt that was wrong. I felt if you're a paid-on-call fire department and you're leaving your family to come here on Thanksgiving or Christmas to help the community, you should make more money. So I added the holiday pay in there at time and a half for the 13 holidays that are listed. We kept the on-call or the calls at $30 per incident, days, $40 a night. That didn't change. Special details is something where they do vehicle checks, ambulance checks, things like that. We went to an hourly rate instead of just a set rate. Seems like they tend to take 2 hours anyways, and they were making $30, but if they're here for 1 hour, they'll make 15. And then public relations events, we put something in there for that. We put some pays in there for captain and sergeants. They had no extra pay for those ranks, and I felt they deserved some sort of check or bonus for that. So we added that in there. We kept standby pay the same. Standby pay, if anybody doesn't know, and was kind of my thought, if the fire department gets a call and 3 of them get here before the 4th one and the 3 leave, the 4th one kind of still gets paid because they're here waiting for another call. But I didn't want it to be a race either. The first 3 here are getting paid and the other one's not. So Bill and I talked about that and thought that would be appropriate. Shift pay, we just gave, there's shifts where they get paid. We just gave them a budget. Gave a budget to Bill and soon-to-be Deputy Chief Simon, so they stay within a budget for finance. We added a training coordinator's position, which was already in their SOPs, and some payment for that. So a person who takes that position and does training coordinator will do some things. Chief Kane has instructor pay that we did. And we tabled it, we tabled a couple items down below for next year's when we looked at the budget. And the items we tabled were like a response award. So I would call this the Woody Award. If you're the #1 responder in the department, you're going to receive some extra money. But we tabled that until we looked at the budget next year. EMS director and uniform allowance, which I told the chief, and I'm sure anybody in this council would say, if one of our firemen need T-shirts or anything like that, for what they do for us, we're going to buy them anyway. So we're going to stay within that limit. So I have an action item in front of you to approve this wage scale, hoping we can get that done.
Thank you so much for all the great work on this and for the highlight tonight. Motion being council's order to approve the proposed fire department wage scale. And this would be done on an annual basis. Did I hear that correctly?
I would like to have it here in June every year before the July budget.
I like it.
So we know what we're going into, and it may be the same exact document, just with a new date on it. It may have some changes from the table items or something we might have learned from finance.
Love it. Motion in council's order to approve the wage scale.
I make a motion to approve the wage scale.
Motion by McNabb. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Cosmore. Council, any discussion on the wage scale in your packet?
Just one question for Bill, has the rest of the folks on the department, have they had an opportunity to see some input on this and?
Yeah, they seen it. A lot of them had some feedback with it, and that's where all the changes came up with it. I'm sure there's still going to be, I'm sure there's still going to be feedback from
Yeah.
it, because everybody hasn't read completely through it, but.
So maybe a living document, something that can be updated as necessary?
that.
Absolutely.
Yep.
We started with this, when Cindy Simon and I started working. What was that?
Beginning of the year?
Yeah, we started on it, and we kind of bounced it back and forth, different ideas. Then Cindy had stepped away. Bill and I finished it up, working on it a couple times, to the point where we had a handwritten document we were giving back and forth, circling stuff. And, you know, it's one of those where I think, absolutely, if there's something we missed, we can bring it back here to council and say we just want to, you know, update it. I don't think there's anything in here that's, you know, I think Bill was agreeable to it. And I think it's just, you know, if you look in your packet, I gave you examples of other cities that have this document. You know, with a union department, you'd have a contract, and this is kind of just like a contract for the year. And hopefully it just continues forward and grows and we add more to it.
Awesome. Any further discussion? Katie, please call roll.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood? Yes. Cox?
Yes.
Cosmer?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes. Motion carried. Thanks for establishing the wage scale. Chief, back to you.
Next action item I have tonight is action item 2413 from the police department or DPS director it basically reads, after an extensive review of the fire department administrative duties, I'm recommending we appoint Captain Cindy Simon to the position of deputy fire chief. Captain Simon will work in the office at least one day a week and be available for calls for service during that day, during the days she works. Captain Simon will also work remotely on other days. The fiscal impact is we're looking to pay her $800 a month or $9,600 a year. I listed the job description in the action item. The money from this will come from some administrative changes we've had. I think it'll give us another set of eyes on the payroll structure. You know, nothing, you know, against Chief Kane, but I will be the first to tell you Chief Kane is overworked. He's got too many jobs. And sometimes we're scrambling, trying to get our fire department paid. And he's trying to scramble to get the payroll done, and, you know, mistakes happen. He's doing a great job at getting them paid, but I think there's been 1 month, we had to delay it to the end of the second pay of the month. But I think this will just help in that aspect. I think it'll help in the department's aspect.
I love that. Just a couple comments too. I think feedback has been, I think, Cindy Simon as potential deputy chief would love to pursue fire officer training. And you all probably know this better than I do, but I believe there's classes 1, 2, and beyond. So just encourage that to be a part of the dialogue. And 2 seats to your left is a former deputy chief, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So thank you. Is there any feedback on the deputy chief position? It's going to be administrative, like you said, in the job descriptions,
No,
but
I think Cindy's a perfect person for it.
awesome. Thank you.
She
Chief.
was here tonight. Unfortunately, she did have to leave. Her children were getting a little restless, but she was here, and she didn't want to wait to the end of the meeting. So unfortunately, she can't be here, but hopefully we can honor her maybe at another night when we have less on the agenda and get her to the top.
Love that. So a motion would be in order from council. Obviously, our DPS head's recommending appointment to deputy chief for Cindy Simon. The job description based on our ordinance or charter language is captured here in your packet. Council, is there a motion to appoint Cindy Simon to be deputy chief?
Motion to appoint Cindy Simon as deputy fire chief for the city of Gibraltar.
Awesome. Motion by Valentine. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by McNabb. Any discussion? I just want to thank Chief Tangway, Chief Kane, the broader department, and for Cindy. I'm excited to have her in this capacity. Katie, please call roll.
Wood?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Cosmer?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Congratulations, Cindy Simon. Can we give a round for Cindy, please, actually? I I saw her and the little ones, and they had to rip cord out, but hopefully you're watching this, and we can celebrate at a future forum. Thank you.
One of my trips outside was to talk to her and make sure, so. My last action item, 24-14, is for council to review our ordinance officer, Dave LaCourse's pay scale. I put in here that Officer LaCourse started in 2017 making $11.33 an hour. In 2020, he was moved to $12.02 an hour. His current pay is in 2021, he was moved to $16.27 an hour. Did a little research and listed in the packet comparables for other cities. Included also is what McKenna, our building department, would charge us if we did that. For example, I put in here, South Rockwood pays $24 an hour. Whitsom is starting a new position, it's $20 to $28 an hour. Flat Rock is $22, Riverview is topping out at $19, Woodhaven is $30. One thing I will say is to pay somebody $16 an hour to take the abuse that Officer LaCourse takes is really not enough. Really not enough. He's out there doing a lot. He did put a resignation letter on my desk. I don't know if he'll stay for a raise, but I have a feeling he would stay for a little bit longer. I think he does a great job. But I figured I'd leave this in council's lap and let them have some discussion and decide which way to go. What I recommended in my packet was to consider taking him to the pay scale that we just gave dispatch and follow that contract, which would take him from to $20.50 an hour in year one. The next year, he would move up to eventually $22.50. That was my recommendation, as the dispatchers are part-time. We would just follow that contract. But again, I'll leave it in council's hands to have some discussion and make a decision.
Yeah, I think clearly you've highlighted the market data, and we're trending way below that for the position. So I think systemically, we need to consider updating that compensation regardless of who's in that position. So I would recommend to consider that.
And we have the budget for that, would all be budgeted, and
I would defer to Amy.
Either way, I'm gonna have to figure it out,
Yeah.
regardless, because if he leaves, you aren't gonna get somebody else for $16.
exactly, that's
Precisely.
true. That's true.
And I think so everybody knows he works 2 7-hour shifts a week. So we're talking 14 hours. I think Vince did some quick math. I was very impressed. Vince did some really quick math for me and had a number of what'd you say, 3,000 more or something? It was.
Yeah, somewhere in the neighborhood, if I recall, yeah.
Annually. I think Amy's point is astute, which is we will pay that market share no matter what, potentially in the future, so. Council, do you want to call a motion to support this wage scale increase this evening, or do you need more time to reflect, or do you have any more questions?
I'll make a motion to approve the wage scale for the ordinance officer.
Second by Molnar, I heard first.
Fine.
Any further discussion? Katie, please call a roll.
Cox?
Yes.
Cosmer?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Motion carried.
All I have, Your Honor.
Thanks for all you do and for the report this evening.
Thank you.
Fire Chief Kane, floor is yours, and thanks for making the trek all the way back straight from Virginia to be in that seat.
I sort of figured I had plenty enough time, because our meetings don't exactly,
Yeah,
aren't that quick.
fair point.
First of all, working with Rick every day, it's something new. We always find something new to talk about every day, so it's fun, so I enjoy it. The fire department activity from July 18th through August 8th, we had 24 total calls, 21 rescues, 3 fires. 2 of them were auto aids, here in Township and Woodhaven. There are no mutual aids. I attached some numbers for the month of July, where we went. Obviously, they're blocked out, so you can't tell what the call was for, but also our average response time for the whole year. I've attached that as well. I thought I had given the action item tonight to send 4 firefighters. Actually, that's corrected. It's going to be 3 firefighters to EMT class and medical first responder class with Wayne County Community College. It's $1,400 a person for EMT class. The MFR is $495. being lucky that the gentleman is over 60 years old, it's free. I got that email the other day. I wasn't exactly sure. Okay, it's free. But all three of them are, one of them is Ellen, that works for the DPW. So she's here during the day, which is a good thing to have for an EMT. And the other one is Caden, that works for the DPW. So that would be two more people during the day. And that historically is when we're having the hardest times, is getting the calls. So you'd have 4 of us working for the DPW that are licensed firefighters and EMTs. That it's, and I don't have the exact amount on me because I thought I had printed it out, but it wouldn't exceed $3,000 for both of these kids, including the physical that they have to go through, the books, the shots, and the tuition. The unfortunate part about going through a college is you have to take certain college courses along with it, which is also, it's a good thing, but if you remembered, when I had the EMT class here, we were at $1,200, so it's $200 more, so it's not really a big price. And I've also, I don't know if you'd like to make a motion for that, for me to send the kids to school, or as an action item.
Yeah, so sorry, just to summarize, so the packet includes 4, but you're saying it's 3.
It's just 3. One can't go till the fall, to the spring of 2025.
Okay. Can you give council, I heard $1,400 per person.
Yep, for 2.
Where are those funds coming from, and how do we handle that?
Training. We should have an education and training fund.
Have we verified that with Amy? Amy, are we good? Okay. So it sounds like we're good on the financials, we're good on that. Council, any other questions?
The class starts, I know this is sort of a quick thing, but it was brought up as a quick class. The class starts at the end of August, and they'll be fully trained and done in December.
I don't have
All
any further questions.
all 3 of them, actually.
Council, any further questions for Chief Kane on that? Well, so let's think about purchasing wise, or any sort of financials here. I would think a motion would be in order, if council so chooses. So motion to send 3 firefighters to EMT MFR class at the cost of $1,400 per firefighter.
For 2.
Sorry, 2.
That's times 2. The MFR is free because he's over 60.
Oh, okay, perfect. So motion be in order for 2 at that cost.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Cosmore,
Second.
second by Wood. Any discussion? All right. Katie, please call roll.
You have something?
Just gonna add something that
Yeah.
this is why we had that one slip up, is because it wasn't brought to council. This is exactly what we're supposed to do for any of these classes.
Awesome. Thank you. Katie, please call roll.
Casmore?
Yes.
McNabb?
Yes.
Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Wood? Yes. Cox?
Yes.
Motion carried. Congrats on the upcoming classes for those involved.
I'd just like to take a minute. The 3 people he's sending are tremendous. We have Bill, who came back to us, lives on Horse Island, and Caden and Ellen. If you haven't seen them 2 work during the day, they're a different generation than the young generations we're used to. They are working hard, and they're carrying they're dirty, working hard, and then when there's a fire call, they're flying up here in whatever vehicle they're driving, which the other day, it was a lawnmower for Caden, driving a lawnmower to the station. So,
Absolutely agree. Thank you.
And that's what's great about this, is it's not the first time a lawnmower has showed up at somebody's house. I've driven a backhoe to, everybody laughs, I've driven a backhoe to somebody's house. I got stopped by the police. Where are you going? Seriously? See the ambulance?
That's amazing.
The last thing I just want to let you guys know, I was looking into a company called PS Tracks. This was brought up in a conversation that, like the department head meeting, about being able to track more maintenance costs, fuel costs, maintenance things on the fire trucks. This company, PS Tracks, I put a little bit in there. I tried to print it all, but for whatever reason, it didn't print. It's a web-based, it does mileage, fuel, inspections of the equipment, inventory. And we do every check monthly on paper. So when something is wrong, I'll get a text or a little note, say, is there something broke, or we took it out of service. With this program, they can do it on their phone, on the tablet that's in the truck, and if they mark a problem of a vehicle, it automatically sends whoever we designate an email, a text, an alert, telling them that this piece of equipment is out of service, or it has a flat tire, or something like that. Excuse me. So I was just looking at, you can run reports from it. I attached some of the literature. I'll get more literature and how much it is. The price they gave me was $1,367.50. It seems like it's a very good product. The city of Flat Rock uses it. Southgate, I believe, uses it. Wyandotte, I believe, I use it too as well. It's just something that's easier to track than trying to keep it all track on paper and in binders. So I just wanted to give you some information about that. I'll bring more of it probably at the next council meeting, so everybody can see it more in detail.
Does council have any questions that would help inform what he brings back? Anybody know this space of monitoring? Okay, we'll look forward to an update on the 26th whenever you're ready.
Okay. That would be the fire department. The addendum of the report for the fire department.
Thank you.
I can talk about some DPW stuff if you'd like.
Anything you want council informed? I know you have your packets, so anything that you feel is critical for the community or council to be aware of?
A lot of people in town have returned their bottles of lead and copper. Every year, you'll get a little plastic bottle sitting on your porch, and you have to fill it up and call us, we pick it up. There's 20 samples that we do. I think I'm picking up the last one tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow, we'll take them to the Detroit Water and Sewer, or GLELA. I call it Detroit Water and Sewer still, everybody calls it GLELA. They'll do the test, they'll send it back for us, so we can put it in our consumer confidence report every year. Some of them are houses that have lead, and so we have to test them per the state of Michigan. A lot of communities around here have 10 bottles they have to do. We have to do 20. There's a city around us that has to do 200. Better than us. And you've also seen, I had Katie put a post out. The DPW is going around and checking. We have to do the inspections of everybody's water service out in front of the house, the water shut off. Sometimes you'll see a blue flag out there or some paint. Please leave them there for about a week. If we don't pick them up, then you can pick them up. What we're doing is marking them all, updating our GIS system to make sure they're right in a spot. There's a few houses that we can't find, and we come up and it looks like moles. We dig up in your yard a couple times looking for it. But keep in mind, those are the ones that if you have a break in your house, that's how we're gonna shut it off. So they're going through street by street and marking them with blue flags and blue paint. And then if we need to dig it up for the inspection, that we have to, the lead and copper inspection that we have to have all done by October. We'll come up, we'll vector out a 2-foot hole about, fix it or check it, make sure it's lead or copper, put it back, put dirt, put stone in. If there's concrete we have to fix, we will come back and fix it. We're just trying to get enough of them together to do a lot of them. So we will be back to fix the concrete if there's any concrete we've pulled out.
That's very helpful. Thank you.
And the water department, I've been handing out the QR code when I go to residents' houses, so they can take a picture and send it up. If somebody wants to take a picture of their water meter, we have a QR code that you can use your phone, answer 2 questions, the address, your name, address, your name, and if you knew it was copper or lead, and take a picture of your water meter. It gets sent into the GIS system that we have, so it generates, that's one of the inspection points that we have to look at, is your water meter. Both sides of the water shutoff and at the water main. I don't see many communities are not digging up the water main just to check that. So the state of Michigan says 3 out of 4. So that's just a helpful one if people want to do that. I have them as I drive around with the van. We can take pictures of it, we can post it up so people can see it. It's just a helpful thing to do to get the community more involved.
Appreciate it. Thank you for all you're doing and all the team is doing within DPW. Appreciate it a lot. Any questions for Bill on either the Chief Kane fire report or the DPW report? All right. There is no unfinished business and no new business unless anybody has anything to raise, no tabled and referred items, and so I'd like to turn it over to our public comments this evening. Members of public, before we adjourn, the podium is yours to share any comments to council. Just make sure that light is green and that you state your name and address for us.
Tina Kuzma, 30495 Bayview. So in light of everything that just transpired, a few questions, the resolution. So what I'm understanding, there was a resolution where he agreed. It wasn't that he went to anyone and said, this is the new position I want. He basically was doing it as a favor that I'll take on this, if I'm understanding correctly, for a certain period of time, right? And in that resolution, I don't believe that there was the, if I don't become the administrator, then I lose my position as chief. Am I following?
So just to be very specific, so the motion was to adopt a resolution appointing Richard Tangway as city administrator effective July 1st, 2024, and doing double duty as the city administrator and the police chief / public safety director until October 31st, 2024. That motion was carried unanimously in June, and tonight was rescinded by council.
Right.
So-
So no verbiage then to say that if you don't do the city administrator position, you don't get to be chief, right?
Yeah, well, that motion was rescinded in a literal sense, right?
Right.
We also had a motion carried by council this evening for posting the city administrator job. To the discussion we had earlier, he has obviously getting active payroll as a police chief and DPS role. Council had discussed the need to revisit his contract, and he said, well, let's wait till the police negotiations are done. Tonight, we ratify the police negotiations, so you'll see upcoming councils to discuss his contract, and that would be the next step, in my opinion.
Okay. So with that said, sitting back, me being an employer, and this is just, everything I've seen of him is a great guy. Did I ever personally interact? No. But for everything the activity he has, the positions he holds, the involvement that he takes on upon himself, and everybody admitting that nobody's saying anything negative, right? They're very pleased with them.
Yeah.
From an employee, that's the citizen aside and all of that. The guy's running 2 different jobs. You don't get that out of people. He's running ragged. And I'm pretty sure we're not paying these people at that scale. Right? So if we're going to talk about disrespect, I think that's the ultimate disrespect right there. That we like you, you're doing a fabulous job. The community likes you, but since you're not going to be the city administrator, your position of the chief is no longer there. So, and realistically, if that wasn't in the resolution, as that he agreed that, if I bail on the city administrator portion before that date, you don't have to give me my job back as chief, right? So without that verbiage in there, I feel like this whole thing is basically gonna open up the city of Gibraltar to a lawsuit, and I would fully support it. In only not even looking at him as the police chief, but you're an employee. You don't treat people like that. You don't, and if you're doing your business, shame on you, because that is not how you treat people. And then this guy, you want to call him in the middle of the night when somebody's breaking in your house, and you've just totally disrespected him. You totally, in front of his whole community, that I'm sorry. I apologize. I apologize that you have been treated, especially he was in a health condition. I apologize that you've been treated that way because you fully did not deserve it, fully.
Thank you so much. Members of public, any other comments this evening? If so, please approach the podium and state your name and your address. Make sure that light is still green for us.
Jim Gorse, 31146 Bayview. You all know me. I was the mayor for about 12 years and a councilman for 4 years before that. So I got 2 items, and I'll be brief. Well, the first one will be the simpler one I'd like to just bring to your attention. There was a nice presentation today by a representative of the Riverview landfill. My advice and encouragement to you all is to do everything you can to support the expansion of that landfill. And do it in such a way that they can use it in their application for that expansion. So if it's a resolution, make sure it's published in such a way that they can throw it in with the application, because it's, in the 16 years that I was involved as a councilman and a mayor, I spent quite a bit of time dealing with landfill issues. I know more than I ever wanted to know about landfills, and more than I thought I ever would know about landfills. It doesn't make me an expert, but it makes me know enough to say the best position for this city and the surrounding downriver communities is to allow that landfill to expand and get the potential 18 to 20 years that he mentioned added life to it.
Yeah.
The expenses are huge, and only, like everything else, are only going to grow. And so he did an excellent job of explaining where those added costs are going to be. The other item is just, I want to say a few words about Chief Tangway, in support of Chief Tangway. Everybody here supports him, it looks like. So you guys got a pretty clear picture of where they are with Chief Tangway. In that time that I was the mayor and on council, I had the privilege to serve with 4 different police chiefs. They each had unique strengths that were unique to each of them, but different from each of them. If I took all 4 of those guys and took their unique strengths and put them together and decided to utilize that to clone the next police chief, I would have got Mr. Tangway. That's as impressed as I am with him and watching since you guys hired him. The previous administration actually hired him. He's brought to this community. So my advice to you, for what it's worth, is keep him as long as he's willing to stay here. And thank you, Chief, for all that you do for this community. I mean that sincerely. That's personally from me to you. And I guess while I'm standing here, because I don't want to stand here any more than I have to going into the future, I have been impressed with you folks on this mayor and council. There's 7 of you, 4 of you are new. You know, hired, or not hired, but elected in the last, 7 months since last November. And 2 of you are short tenured in that you've only served 1 or half of a term. And then we have 1 here who's got a lot of experience, who's been around since almost longer than I have, I think. I have been impressed and happy with the performance that you folks have shown in the willingness to take on a lot of different processes and projects and decisions that have to be made, but I'm a little fearful, partly from what I've seen this evening. I detect a little bit of you're not getting along with each other as well as you should be. This is my advice to you. You can take it for what it's worth, but you all have different opinions. You all bring something different to the table that you mix together through discussion to make the best decisions possible. And you need to respect each other's opinions and each other's knowledge and each other's experience when you make those decisions, and then you need to live with the decisions you make. And if you take that approach, you all make good decisions. And the infight, the little bit of infighting that I'm beginning to detect, stop it. Don't let it fester and get any worse, because you will not be doing yourself a good service. And if you're not doing yourself a good service, you're certainly not doing this community a good service. That's just my advice to you, and it comes from spending 16 years in your seats. I mean, I might be a slow learner, but I did learn a few things along the way. So that's all I have to say. Good night, folks.
I really appreciate that. Well said, former Mayor Goris. Thank you so much for all 3 points. Last one felt loud and clear. Any other public comments this evening?
I'm Nikki Tangway, 5260 Barbara in Trenton. I promised Rick I wouldn't speak tonight, but sorry, honey. I hope you'll just trust me the same way you did when your life was on the line 2 weeks ago. First of all, sitting here, hearing all the amazing words in support of my husband touched my heart and really was amazing for myself, not only myself, but Rick, our family. I already know how amazing he is. I'm married to him, but to hear it is absolutely amazing. So thank you all. Mayor Shoemate, I just want to thank you and speak on behalf of Chief Tangway and our family for your kindness, your compassion, and deep concern for Rick's health. Your kind heart and the way you truly care for one of your own did not go unnoticed, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for everything. You are a man of honor with high integrity, an extremely kind, genuine, caring man whom we are extremely blessed to have in our lives. This community is blessed to have you. When you visited Rick in the hospital, I could see it in your face, and I felt it in my heart how much you truly care for not only him, but for our entire family. We all thank you for putting Rick's health above all else and giving him the time he needed to heal, decompress, and continue to limit, not add to, the amount of stress in his life while he undergoes further testing. That means the world to Rick and our family, so thank you. To those of you in the police department, City Hall employees, Gibraltar community, and to those of you on City Council who have been supportive, we thank you for caring and we thank you for your support. I, as Rick's wife, personally want to thank you, Mary Shoemate, and several of you on City Council for caring, for being understanding, and for not adding any unnecessary stress to Rick's life as he was healing. Sometimes in life, we all need to take a step back and look at what truly matters and just be decent human beings that put others before our own selfish desires or political agendas. So to those of you who have been supportive for Rick and our family, we thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nikki. Don't forget to state your name and address.
Wayne Brannon, 30490 South Gibraltar Road. I just noticed when Humbug Marina sold, there are people moving in and out of 13300. It's not a compatible building. It's zoned commercial. There's people living in there again. I'm sorry. 400's been doing a lot of work. No permits posted or anything. You know, and 500, the corner there, the parking is, you know, the ladies try and keep up this city beautiful and done. That corner looks terrible. They said they were going to pave it. If they're going to pave it, pave it. If not, block it off, do whatever. Because there's going to be an accident there sooner or later. People pulling in and out of there, jumping over the curb. You know, the city said they didn't want to sell the property. You know, do something, because somebody's going to get hurt. It's going to happen. The traffic that goes in and out of there is just ridiculous. And they should honor what you pulled before. You offered parking 300 feet down. They just don't do it. Somebody is going to get hurt because people are stopping, backing up, going in and out of there at night. And just one of these nights, it's just going to be unlucky for somebody.
Thank you so much for the comments. I know some of that.
I think all the buildings should be inspected when they're sold, and I know they haven't been commercial-wise in the city. You expect the residents to be inspected, but you let the commercial go. Do the same for everybody. I don't care what it, just do the same for everybody, then nobody's got a gripe. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other members of the public wishing to address council this evening? Okay, with that, we'll close public comment, and we're looking for a motion from council to adjourn. Motion? Second. Katie, please call roll.
McNabb. Yes. Mulnar.
Yes.
Schumate.
Yes.
Valentine.
Yes.
Wood. Cox.
Yes.
Cosmore.
Yes.
Thank you all. Have a great evening.
Yeah.